Morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, man. I always like Thursday. Thursday's payday. I need to write those fat checks every other week. Yikes. it's, it's funny, man. Like the like making payroll never gets easier. Like, no matter how many years I've been in business, I don't think that I've ever had to do payroll and thought like, oh man, this is easy. It's like every time like Monday comes up when the week that you know you got to do payroll, you're just like, oh shit, do I have money in the bank? Like, what are sales doing? It's always good to get you going, get you thinking. Make sure you got your ducks in a row. You got money in the old bank account, and you got invoices getting paid. You're kind of you're prodding customers to make sure you got projects being worked on and orders coming in. Getting things finalized, and like I said, it's just a constant like pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. And thank God my wife does most of it because God, I couldn't do it. But anyway, holy smokes. Okay, guys. So where to start today? So happy Thursday. And got several things I want to talk about this morning. Big thing is where's America moving, right? I got a couple questions I want to ask you guys, and I want you guys to let me know where you think we're going. Are we going in the right direction? Or are things we should be doing differently as a country? Are we going in the direction that we kind of planned on? Are things changing? Are we getting where we want to be? And these are the questions that I want to ask. Donald Trump ran on kind of a MAGA America First agenda, right? So he was basically elected to work on this country, right? He was going to fix some of the issues we had, things with, the hollowing out of the middle class and open borders and, tariffs and things like that. And, he's always talking about building up the military, as all Republicans do. But for the most part, I think we would all kind of agree that Trump ran on essentially making the country better, right? Helping the American people. A lot of people had said that, America wasn't moving in the right direction, too many foreign wars, too much emphasis on foreign countries, American projection abroad, so on and so forth. And Trump was essentially elected to work on those things. And while he talked a good game and he certainly came into office, I think, working a lot of those things, I think we all would kind of agree at this point, like Trump has stopped working on America. And I'm going to go over some of the things, like some of the massive projects we've been doing in this country for a long time. Things like some of these bridges we've been trying to work on, some of these rail projects, some of these large infrastructure projects, highway completion projects, again, bridges, things, so on and so forth. And now I want to talk about some of the projects that we've done in the past and why those went so well, right? And as we are able to look back further and further in time, we can understand why America was so great between 1950 and 1980. And why it's turned into such a shit show now. And so we got a lot of data we can look at. So it's just patently obvious that we're no longer doing things in America. We like to think about things, right? And I think this Francis Scott Key Bridge has become more of a thing. I've seen a lot of this stuff on X, and it's really, people are starting to get really frustrated with the fact that we essentially funded this thing right away. It happened 2 years ago, and it's $5 million down the drain right now, no bridge. And this is systemic across our country, right? And Trump was elected to help work on these things. And again, as a business owner and a guy who's, builds skyscrapers and knows construction, you would think that this guy would be able to get things moving a little bit or have some influence on some of these projects, but he's not. He's not even worried about it. He's literally focused on foreign conflicts, foreign associations like NATO. He's focused on a lot of things that, again, aren't helping Americans, right? As the cost of everything goes up here in America, we are expected to continue to pay our taxes. We're not getting anything for our tax dollars anymore. And I think a lot of people are waking up to this fact, and people are getting really pissed off, So as a taxpayer myself and a business owner, I'm super pissed off. You guys know how I am on this cast. I am highly anti-academia, right? Not because I don't like college. I don't think we need smart people. We absolutely need smart people. I just think that we send too many people to school giving them the illusion that it's going to make them smarter, that they're going to be able to contribute more to society, and it's going to make society better. And what it's actually doing is it's retarding society, right? It's literally making us dumber by making everyone a thinker and not having enough doers, right? And this is a big problem. So I heard a quote today. I've always struggled to encapsulate how I feel about the world. But listen to this quote, guys. Tell me if you guys agree with me. I'm sure most of you don't, right? I know we got a lot of academics in here, and I appreciate everyone that's hanging out. I appreciate everyone that comes in this cast and pushes back against me as a dumb business owner, a dumb guy who got really good at making furniture and was able to turn this thing into a business. Here's my quote. Hey, listen to this. Hey, the quote is, "See students run the world," right? So it's all the people, that are just kind of mediocre people that just like to get shit done. Just get me in, get me out. These are C students, okay? B students work for C students. It's like, this is kind of how I see it, right? A lot of times people say, well, where's your MBA, right? Where's your college degree? And you're like, oh, I got 4 of them. They work for me, right? The other thing is A students, these are your doctors and your lawyers and your engineers. And this is how I look at it, guys. And this, unfortunately, we've got too many people that think they're A's and B's, and we don't got enough people that are C's, you know? So I think it's a great way to encapsulate how the world actually works. And this is kind of how I see things. And we need more C students making decisions. We got too many fucking people that, like I said, they got a bachelor's in business and they got a doctorate from, whatever, Stanford, and they just think that they rule the world. And what they've done is they've just retarded everything by slowing it all down. And you can disagree with me. You guys can think that, Eric's a troglodyte and he, wants people to get injured. He doesn't care about safe air and safe drinking water. I'm here to tell you guys it's the exact opposite. I care about all those things, but you still got to get shit done, right? There is no, fountain of plenty, right? There's no utopia. If you don't do shit, there is no shit, right? So I say this all the time, and again, I hope people agree with me, but anyway, we got a good talk today. We're going to talk about what's happening in the country today. We're going to talk about why we don't do things like do unto others as one would do to you. We don't seem to have that ethos anymore, right? We don't seem to have the ethos of taking care of our neighbor, of treating our neighbors like humans. We just have a lot of shit talking going on in this country. We got a lot of people liking to talk smack on places like X and here on YouTube. Love to talk a lot of shit, but they're not doing a ton for their economy, right? They're not doing a ton for their neighbor, and we're not treating people as a country. We're not treating our neighbors the way that we would want to be treated. And you guys can think that, well, we're America, we're going to kick ass, or we're going to take names, and we're better than everyone else. And I'm here to tell you guys that that's the wrong mindset, at least in my opinion. And you guys can push back against me, and let's get into it, So a couple programming notes I want to tell you guys. I want to go over the channel's growth real quick with you guys, just so you know that anyone that's in the stream, anyone that participates, my normals, people that are in here, we got explosive growth in this channel. We're up 347% right now. So this channel was getting about 20 to 40,000 views a month. We're up to 165,000 views a month, right? This is our average, So we got a lot of great growth on here, and I really do appreciate everyone that's participated and added to this channel. So let's say hi to everyone, and we'll get into it, okay? So who's in here first? We got the Lewis Powell's in here. Can you sing? Of course I can sing, man. I'm a lifelong musician. What are you talking about? All right, Ellie's in here. LEW4N. Okay, let's see. He will pull out of NATO, but he wants us to run this sphere. Well, again, I think that we should have pulled out of NATO a long time ago. I mean, I'm one of these guys. I thought we should have pulled out of NATO 20 years ago. But again, you don't create a problem, right? You don't create a problem in the Strait of Hormuz and with the Middle East that screws over Europe, right, by not allowing them to have access to energy, and then, again, talk shit to them for years, and then come in and tell them, oh, hey, you got to fix the problem that America created. Like, that's no way to treat your neighbor, guys. That's no way to operate in the world. You can't just be a bully, right? Like, again, I love being the big guy on the block, but again, I'm not into being a bully. I'm not one of these people. I don't think that, America is necessarily any better than any other country, even though we are, right? We've actually, in a sense, America's won the game. We won the game. But again, we're not helping people. We're bullying people at this point. And I just don't believe in that. Again, if a country, if we as citizens believe in this thing called sovereignty, we got to act like we believe in sovereignty. If we don't believe in it, then fine, don't believe in it. But put it out there. Don't talk about sovereignty and then go snatch leaders out of other countries. Don't talk about sovereignty, right? And then go threaten to take over other countries. Like, you can't talk that way. Again, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. And this is what our president's doing. He's literally elected to work on this country, and he's not doing it. What he's trying to do is he's trying to reorient and reposition America as the global superpower for the entire world, and that's not what Donald Trump was elected. Some of you guys are going to say, oh, well, he's the president, his cabinet, he knows what's better for the people. And I'm here to tell you guys that in a democracy, the people are allowed to be wrong, okay? And this is the thing that I think we've forgotten. We elected a guy to do a thing, right? And whether he likes it or not, his job is to do that thing. And he's not doing it. And again, people can disagree with me, but that's just kind of how I see it. So Ellie, again, as always, I appreciate your comment. But if Trump wants to project power here in the spheres and he wants to, make sure that we secure all of our resources, like, great, no problem. But you still got to work on America. Like, Trump was elected to work on America, right? And as I go through our infrastructure projects in this cast, you guys are going to understand that America hasn't been working on itself for a long time. We're going to look at things like the Department of Education. We're going to look at what happened when we started that agency in '79 and where are we at today, right? And when I'm always harping on academia, guys, this is the reason, right? These people continue to say, oh, we got to do it this way. Here's what the smart people want to do. Here's the engineers. Here's the lawyers. Here's all the titans of industry. We got to listen to them. And the truth is, guys, is that nothing's getting better in this country. Not a fucking thing. And again, I don't want it to be that way. I want us to do massive projects that galvanize the country, that galvanize our neighbors, that use our neighbors to help us do big things as a culture. But we don't want to do that here. Like, it's just, it's really weird what we're doing. So anyway, we'll go over this. But Ellie, again, I appreciate you being here. I love your comments, so thank you so much. All right, Lewis Palestine, I can't fall asleep. Dude, I couldn't fall asleep too. I woke up this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I think my wife forgot to turn the AC, the thing that's in the upper part of the house, and I woke up, it was like 75 degrees up in the top of our house, and I couldn't go back to bed. It just sucks. So I'm kind of annoyed myself. So good for you. Okay, I'm in the same boat, dude. All right, Cabert72 says 67. Dude, I'm not sure what you're saying. ST students are so fucking creative. They couldn't do the homework. I know homework's the problem. C students are inventors. I know. I get it, man. I couldn't sit in school, man. I couldn't listen to someone tell me anything. Like, I have to be doing it. Like, it's a practical thing. This is why I'm one of these people. Like I'm saying, more people need to go to work. They don't need to go to school. We need more people getting jobs right out of high school, as opposed to basically delaying the real work of going to work and then going to college for 4 to 7 years or however long it takes people to go to school anymore. And again, if you give kids the choice between going to college where they can, drink beer and do whippets and have drugs and explore who they want to be, right, for another 5 years, and again, we, the taxpayers, pay for it. Of course, they're not going to go to work. Like, who would, So I just say, again, we need smart people. We need smart people to go to college and to become physicists and engineers and, material engineers and whatever, doctors, lawyers, all these kind of things. But we got too many people thinking that going to school is going to be the answer to all their problems, and it's not, So anyway, okay, but I appreciate your comment there. This is Cobert. Cobert, I haven't seen you before. Cobert72, I appreciate being here. I appreciate the comments. And okay, America should be separated into 5 sectors: the A students, B, C, C's, F's, and in Divergent. I remember those movies. I don't remember the premise of that movie. There was like 3 of them, right? I don't remember exactly. Was it like the Maze Hunter was one of those? I don't remember. Maze Runner or something. I don't remember the premise of those things, but people don't need to be broken up. But we do got to be honest about the capacity of certain kinds of people. And again, a guy who never graduated high school, just because you don't finish high school, you don't go to college, doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you have to take a different path. And when you send people on the path of smart people, it actually makes it more difficult for people. I don't know if people, you don't have to agree with that. That's just kind of how I see it. All right, Paul Holden's in here. Paul Holden, good to see you, dude. 4038. I treat people the way I want to be treated. Yeah, and that's kind of how I see it, guys. And this is one of the things that I was thinking about this morning when I couldn't frickin' sleep, is it's like, I wrote down some stuff about treating neighbors, guys, and I'm trying to say hi to people. Let me say hi to a few more people, Paul, and I want to get into exactly what you're saying, because I literally wrote down the same thing that you wrote down. What I wrote down was your neighbor asks you for help to beat up another neighbor, right? You would never go down that road, right? Like, we treat our neighbors the way we want to be treated. We try and help our neighbors out because it helps our neighborhood, right? We try and help our neighbors because we want to have a good relationship with our neighbors, right? This is kind of what we do, and we would never, like, say, 2 neighbors get together and go beat the shit out of another neighbor, or 2 neighbors get together and then go take over another neighbor's house. Like, we don't operate that way, but it's kind of what we're doing. We've been doing this for a long time as a country, and I just don't know that it's a good idea, but whatever, we'll bat it around. All right, Donald's rule is just and benevolent. Okay, well, that's good. I appreciate it. I don't know where the just and benevolent part comes in. And again, none of us elected Donald Trump to go over and fight wars. We didn't elect him to do this, and he didn't run on this, right? Which, again, America is allowed to be wrong, right? America is allowed to elect a person to do a thing, and then if that person does that thing and you have a whole bunch of people that don't agree with it, it doesn't matter. That's what that person was elected to do. And the reason we are not getting change in this country, whether we vote for Democrats or we vote for Republicans, is because once you elect someone to do a thing, right, they generally don't do it, right? They do what they want to do. They do what the people that pay them want to do. They do what the donors do, right? They'll do what other countries want them to do, but they don't seem to do what the American people want them to do, right? Which is make America better, right? Beautify America. America is the single greatest country that has ever existed in the history of humanity. We have just an insane amount of resources in this country. We have access to everything, but we've gotten so smart, right? We're so intelligent that we don't want to actually utilize any of the resources in this country. Have you guys noticed that? Like, we don't mine things here. We don't have massive mining operations, right? We're not great at extracting minerals. You might say, oh, it's because we're so rich we don't have to. We can go over to other countries. Well, I see a $39 trillion deficit. I see the number one line item on our budget is essentially paying interest. So clearly we're not as smart as we think we are. So okay, he wants a world government. Yeah, and Ellie, I think you're probably right. There's something to that. I don't. Again, with the amount of shit Donald Trump talks, I don't know how he's going to get a world government, but we'll see what happens. So if you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, have discussion. We're talking about America's inflection point, right? Are we gonna let our president restructure the world and basically put America back where it was right after World War II, right? Which I think is what he kind of wants to do, or are we going to push this guy to do what he was elected to do, which is to help Americans, right? And again, everyone can say, well, this is going to help you guys in 5 years. This is going to help you in 10 years. Oh, this is going to help the next generation, right? This is going to help, whatever, your grandchildren. They always say this kind of stuff, and it's because they don't want to help you today, right? They want to do what they want to do today so that you can get something tomorrow because you're a dumb wagey, right? You're a dumb taxpayer. Do what we tell you. And again, what's the point of voting if the person you elected to vote ran on, 5, 6, 7 things, and he does one of them? Like, you can't have a democratic society that way because it's no longer democratic, right? When 80 million people vote for a guy to do something, when a Republican wins the popular vote, when a Republican wins all the swing states, when a Republican has control of the House, has the Supreme Court, has literally every single institution in our government, and we can't get this guy to do the things that he ran on, you know that your system is no longer working, right? And again, I would say the same thing if it was a Democrat, right? If the borders weren't wide open, right? If we weren't letting tons of people in here, if we weren't, basically letting the entire world come in here and suck off of America, right? I wouldn't think that, I would think that the system worked if the Democrats were in control, right? But they're not, right? Now the Republicans are in control. They should be pushing back against a lot of this stuff, and they're not doing it. So again, it's all captured. It's really, it's very frustrating. So, okay, all right, this is Simpa 87. All right, Fred Gile, that's right. Paul Holden said, what time has come and gone? America is number one. Well, again, I think America is still number one. The problem is that we're not working on America, right? We've just spent way too much time working on foreign countries, working on war, working on all kinds of things, wasting money. The amount of waste we have in this country, guys, is just insane. And honestly, a lot of it, guys, is academic. It's literally too many people thinking, not enough people doing. And again, we'll go through the numbers. I've got a whole bunch of stuff pulled up here talking about, we're going to talk about the Department of Education, where academia started in the 70s and where it is today. And again, you guys will see where all the money is going. You'll see why we can't get anything done in this country. And if we want to look at where we make everything, right? As we got smarter as a culture, we started sending all that work into the third world, and then we started creating more thinkers, right? We gave out more degrees, and we created a society of people that don't do anything. And no shade against anyone that is a thinker, it has an office job. Again, we need these people. It's very important that we have these people, but we put too many people that should be working in an office, and that's kind of how I see it. So a few more comments, guys, and then we're gonna get to our discussion. So again, I appreciate everyone being here this morning. Hit the like button, have discussion. I try and give you guys an hour or two in the morning before I head off to work and go, run my furniture company. Okay, for the new people in here, my name is Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a fine furniture boutique company. We do about 500 pieces a year, right? We're known for that high gloss lacquer coating that you can see your face in. 94% of all of my customers are women, right? I'm not selling furniture to men. I sell it to chicks, okay? And again, it's a great middle-class living. We sell American furniture to Americans, right? And this is another thing is I also own, and I have 2 manufacturing businesses in India where we make brass hardware, right? So when people want to talk about foreign manufacturing, they want to talk about tariffs, I'm the guy to talk to because I actually do it. I'm not a thinker, right? I'm not a guy that went to the Wharton School of Business. I'm a practitioner. I'm not a theorist, right? So this is the perspective that you get on this channel. So, okay, a couple more comments, and we're going to get into it. All right, Jason Patrice. I don't know if I've seen you before. 7362. I bet stupid people get all offended by this dude's lamp. I don't know. People like the lamp. Okay, are you Jeff Bezos? No, I'm not Jeff Bezos. This is Edmundell 3064. I appreciate being here, dude. All right, Vigilance sidekick. I got hit by a car and I have a concussion, broken leg, and a lot of road rash. That sucks, man. You on a motorcycle? I mean, you guys got to be careful, man. The funny thing about like America, I'm married to an immigrant. My wife's from India. She always laughs at motorcycles and people that ride bikes because here in America, we like always have to yield to these people. It's like you'll see the motorcycle guys. They'll be like, loud pipes save lives. Like you got to look out for motorcyclists. Motorcycles have the right of way. Bicycles have the right of way. Where she comes from, she's like, yeah, we got so many people in India, no one gives a fuck. Like they'll just run you over. You get in front of a car in India, you're on a bicycle, they'll just run you over. No one will even report you dead. Like it's the same thing if you're on a moped over there, right? And again, you get in front of like a truck, they'll just run you over. No one will even stop, But here in America, like the world stops when someone gets hit by a bicyclist who, basically is like bullying people in the bike lane. It's hilarious the way we treat that kind of stuff here. Okay, But vigilance, I hope you're okay. It's this isn't India, I get it. Okay, this is cancer. 504 Red Devils. No, dude, no cancer. Vigilance. Okay, why stupid people? They are not stupid. Just uneducated or of a different thinking. Yeah, and again, that's a good way of thinking. And being uneducated, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm one of these people. Like I think people can call me dumb. People can say that I'm uneducated. And Donald Trump, I love the uneducated. Like again, it doesn't bother me one bit. Like I said, uneducated people are super valuable in this country, just like hyper-educated people are super valuable in this country. And I'm one of these people that thinks that we got to bring these people together, get rid of the class system that we have here. We need to do a little bit more of what Germany does, how they treat people coming out of high school and then teaching them skills and how to make an income. I'm one of these guys. I push the idea of taking the urban community and using these people to go to work, right? Instead of making them take, restaurant jobs, making them work Amazon, making them work DoorDash, all these bullshit jobs, move between fast food and stuff like that. We should have a program to incentivize these people to actually do real work, right? To go learn HVAC, to go, learn how to do construction, go learn to work on roads, go learn to whatever, be trashman, be mailman, be whatever. But don't let them be on welfare. This idea of people generationally being on welfare is a mistake. This idea that, again, businesses don't even want to deal with the urban community. They don't want to deal with these people that are generationally impoverished. They would rather bring the third world in here and employ those people. They would rather send the work to the third world rather than deal with these people. As a business owner, it's actually cheaper for me to pay my taxes and leave all these people on welfare and in poverty forever. Bring the third world in here, have them do the work, or send the work to the third world. It makes perfect sense. All the incentives are aligned for businesses to do that rather than work with the population we have here in America, right? It's a disgusting thing that we do here, but this is what the educated people have done to this country, right? These are the decision makers, and whether we like it or not, everyone that outsources work to the third world has a bachelor's degree at minimum. Most of them have MBAs, right? The people that bring the third world in here, same thing. These guys, they're all hyper-educated, and this is how they see their balance sheet working out, right? Every time a business owner says, you know what, I can't seem to make money, but guess what? If I bring the third world in here, I'm going to make money, right? If I outsource to the third world, I'm going to make money. The illusion of a successful business owner that we've created in this country has bastardized what it means to be an American business owner, and to push our country forward. So I'm that guy. So, okay, Slageter 5320, dumbass administration. Yeah, I'm not. Okay, Roche is in here. 5706. Dude, YT has the crackdown on those streamers. I scrolled past a dude jorking. Okay. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get into the bulk of my discussion here. We're gonna talk about Department of Education. We're gonna talk about some of these massive infrastructure projects that are draining our coffers, that are making our country look like a joke, right? We're gonna look at some of the projects that have worked, right? Things like the Hoover Dam, right? Things like the Empire State Building. Because we need to understand what's happening to our country, and what do we want our president to do, right? What do we want our Congress to do? What do we want our Supreme Court to do? Do we want these people to work on what's good for America, or do we want to let these people just work on the third world, right? Do we want to let these people work on countries like Israel that, again, no American's ever going to go to, that most Americans could give a shit about, right? Do we want to allow these kind of people to get preferential treatment over Americans, right? Do we want to allow, anyway, let's dig in. I want to talk. I've got enough here going. Okay, so things I want to talk about today. So we're going to talk about, I talked to you guys about our YouTube metrics. The first thing I wrote down in my notes today was, do unto others as one would do to you, guys. Are we getting a little bit of tired of being assholes to everyone, right? Would you treat your neighbor like a piece of shit, right? Would you tell your neighbor that, he's a dirty, sick Muslim, right? Would you tell your neighbor that, Islam is the religion of the devil, right? Would you do these kind of things, right? You wouldn't. Again, because what you would do in person is very different than what you would do on the internet, right? It's very different than what you're going to do on Fox News, right? It's very different than how you're going to treat someone when, again, you don't have to live with them, right? When we get to a country where we have to live with each other, we treat each other very differently, But right now, we're treating everyone as though they're inhumane, as though they don't matter. And I got a problem with this. We are allowing our country to basically fall apart. And again, like just look at the TSA thing. It's been in the news all day. Like there have been like for weeks now at this point. There's no excuse for that, right? And when we allow our politicians to again act like that's not a problem, because guess what? They get to skirt the line, right? This is a problem, right? When the government gets shut down and then everyone starts blaming everyone else, but the Congress people still get paid. Okay, again, doesn't matter. They would never treat their neighbor like that. But again, they don't have to. They don't have to live in that world. So right now, our Congress is not having to operate in the world that we live in, right? Our president, right, is not operating in America as though he has a neighbor here, right? He's not looking at his neighbor in the eye, who's paying $25,000 for healthcare, who is getting a $65,000 job and can't fucking make his mortgage payment, right? He'll never own a home. Donald Trump doesn't have to look at the young person, right, coming out of college, got another one of these fucking bullshit degrees, right, gets out of the workplace. He's got a fucking, master's degree, but he's going to end up working at Starbucks, or he's going to end up working at fucking Trader Joe's because he can't make any money. Donald Trump has to look at this person, right? But Donald Trump's going to take $2 million a day out of the taxpayer's hand to go fight a war for Israel, right? To go bomb brown people over in Iran, right? He's going to go work on, destabilizing the Middle East so that Israel can essentially become its greater Israel project, which again, I've got no problems with that, to be quite honest. But America better look like fucking Dubai, okay? America better look like the Shangri-La that we all know it can be. But that's not what Donald Trump's doing. He's not focusing on any of that, right? He's not focusing on making sure that wages are higher in America for Americans by cutting off the third world. Even though he ran on it, he's not going to do it. Because again, guess what? All the people that fund Donald Trump's campaigns, they've already told him, people like Miriam Adelson, they said, you know what, motherfucker? You're going to work on Israel. I don't give a fuck about the guy coming out of college. I don't care that young people don't want to have kids and our country is literally crumbling. Miriam Adelson says, you know what? You go work on Israel. We'll bring the third world in here. We don't need these fucking kids. Like America can turn brown for all she cares. And same thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not working on America. What Donald Trump is trying to do is trying to get on Mount Rushmore. He's trying to create a war because he wants to be a wartime president, because that's one of the things that a lot of those presidents have in common. He's trying to create a problem and then be the solution. He doesn't want to fix everything going on here in America, right? So I got a real problem with this, and I don't think that's what this guy was elected for, but that's what we're getting. So very frustrating, So anyway, we need to do unto others as one would do to us. We wouldn't like it if some country came in here and snatched our leader. Like, how would we feel if we were Venezuela, right? And someone just came and snatched Donald Trump right now? A lot of people would probably be pretty happy about that. But point is that we wouldn't like that, right? How would we like it if fucking Russia was saying, you know what, I'm going to come over there, I'm going to snatch America, right? America's going to become, Russia 2.0. We wouldn't take very kindly to that. Like, again, Donald Trump's rhetoric is not helpful. And it does not represent America. And again, I'm not one of these people. I'm not some pussy, that thinks like, oh my God, stay here. I don't want to ever, no American might, no American projection, isolationism, okay? Not one of those guys, right? You want to fuck around and find out, you can do that. But again, it has to be in our interest. If we're going to have these things called allies, we're going to have things called friends. Well, a friendship works both ways, right? You got to get something, you got to give something. That's how friendships work, right? You help someone when they're in hard times. They help you when you're in hard times. You help them beautify their home. They help you beautify your home. You watch their pets. They watch your pets, right? We don't seem to have that relationship with the rest of the world, okay? And I don't know if you guys see this the way that I see it, but I don't see us having that relationship. We give and we give and we give and we get nothing in return, almost nothing. Okay, now you guys can argue the petrodollar. You could argue whatever. Our Fed being able to buy bonds through getting debt from other countries. I get all that stuff. I'm not having that discussion. We're not talking about that shit today. We're talking about just the basic dummy ideas today, okay? So we talked about that. We talked about neighbors. We talked about all these kind of things, okay? Trump's trying to reset the world. I talked about that, okay? Let's talk about struggling to finish projects. Let's talk about these big, massive infrastructure projects, right? Things like we all know about the California Light Rail. We all know about this Francis Scott Key Bridge that we can't seem to get built. It's essentially tripled in budget, right? We got a lot of these topics. Let's say hi to a few more people real quick, and then we'll continue the discussion. So clearly, I've got you guys talking. So I appreciate, again, anyone that puts a comment in and contributes to the discussion and comes back. Again, I really do appreciate it. It's how we've grown this channel. We got 350% growth here. So, and that's all because of everyone that comes in here and hangs out. So, Okay, let's see. I'm pretty happy so far. He's following through on most major stuff. Okay, cut the military budget. Let's see where I'm at here. Okay, let's start here. We're going to go to, this is Slankter, 5320. Every 4 years, a president glorifies a problem that isn't the main problem, and we cycle and repeat. Yeah, it just seems like that. I get it. Cut the military budget in half and build universal colleges for citizens, and maybe we'd be a little smarter. Yeah, no, dude. No. We got plenty of colleges here, dude. Do you want me to go into how much money we spend on the education system in this country? Again, I've got the largest research college in America. It's called WashU, right here in St. Louis, okay? It's literally Little China, okay? Ain't no fucking Americans going there, dude. Every business surrounds this college. They're all Asian businesses. This is your fucking noodles. This is your Thai restaurants. This is, again, it's all Asian food. Okay, and again, nothing wrong with those people being here, but you can't turn my country into Little China, because you want to, pay for the colleges. It ain't fucking happening, man. Not happening. I don't want that. And again, Trump didn't run on that, by the way. Okay, let's see. Is this Tamika May? Tamika May 1987. I'm pretty happy so far. He's following through on most major stuff. Okay, well, again, Tamika, let me know what those major things are. I want to know what, put them in the comments. I want to know exactly your time because I would push back. I think the only thing that Donald Trump has really done is closing the border and done a little bit of tax cuts. And again, as a business owner, when it comes to tax cuts, I'm not impressed. So I don't know about you. Do you like paying 22.5% in income taxes in the federal government? Does that seem like something Donald Trump ran on? Do you like Donald Trump not auditing the Fed, right? Auditing Fort Knox, auditing the Department of Defense. Meanwhile, but if the IRS shows up at your door, guess what? Fucking liens going on your house, right? They'll take all your money. They'll oh God, what's that word they do? They'll garnish your wages, right? The IRS will literally come in your bank account and take your money. But your government doesn't have to do the same, okay? Your government is not it's taxation without representation, okay? Again, Donald Trump was supposed to work on some of these things. These questions were all asked of him when he was trying to get elected, but maybe that's going to be next year, right? Maybe that'll be next election cycle. Let us win the midterms, and then we'll do those things. You guys see how this works? Meanwhile, the military gets all the money it wants, right? Israel gets all the money it wants. I don't think it works, guys. If I'm being completely honest, you guys know Donald Trump got $180 billion in the one big beautiful bill for mass deportations. Doesn't seem to want to do that, right? Again, ran on it. Doesn't seem very interested, So, but Tamika May, I appreciate your comment. Let me know what you think Donald Trump's doing good. I'm open to believe anything. All right, Jason Patrice, 7362. Every modern president said we can't let Iran get nuclear weapons. I trust and believe they knew something about it. Okay, and again, I would agree with you, but they've been saying this shit for 35 years. No president thought it was a worthwhile endeavor. Not one of them. And no other country thought that it was a worthwhile endeavor. I find it's very convenient that America seems to be the only country that is, A, willing to do something, and B, just happened to take this particular period in time to do it. Now, why would America choose to do this now as opposed to 35 years ago when everyone was crying about this, when this conversation started? Here's why, guys. Because the boomer voter base is dying. Okay, and again, I got a lot of boomers that watch this. Again, I don't use the boomer term as a derogatory term. I use it to identify basically the people that are 60 years and older. They're all dying off. Okay, channels like Fox News and CNN, these places are irrelevant. Neocons in the government, right? The octogenarians that we have in our government right now, they're all dying. Okay, young people don't want this shit. The reason Donald Trump was elected was because young people put him in office. This is why this guy was put in office. And again, he's not doing the things that he's ran on. He took their vote and then did the exact opposite of what they wanted him to do by giving him the popular vote and letting him win all the swing states, which hadn't happened since Ronald Reagan. And what Donald Trump thinks is that he's Ronald Reagan and that he has the same mandate. Okay? Except we don't have Iran-Contra going on here, right? This is a very different kind of a situation, but that's what Donald Trump thinks. Donald Trump thinks that we still get 30% of our oil from Saudi Arabia. Lindsey Graham still thinks that, oh my God, if there's an OPEC cartel and they close off the oil, like it's going to be, curtains for America. It's going to be lines at the gas stations again, okay? That world doesn't exist. We have a society and a voter base, right? The boomers and the people in Congress, the boomers, these guys are chasing ghosts, okay? They're chasing ghosts. And again, the only reason that they're doing this war in Iran now is because Israel knows that voter base is dying. The people that believe that Iran is a massive threat and that Israel should basically run the Middle East, these people are all dying. Young people don't believe this way anymore, and that's why they're doing it now. Trump knows that when the midterms happen, he's not going to be able to do what he's able to do right now. he's done. Donald Trump's a lame duck. He's going to get destroyed, right? You literally saw that his own district in Florida, where Mar-a-Lago's at, elected a Democrat. It was a plus 11 district last time. Now a Democrat won it, and she won on the price of the cost of everything in America, right? She ran on Donald Trump not helping Americans, and she crushed it. She overperformed and won the district, a Democrat, where Mar-a-Lago's at. Like that says something. I mean, it doesn't say everything, but it does say something, guys. So anyway, this is how I see it. You guys may disagree with me, but again, Donald Trump and Israel are up against a wall. They had to do this now because it's the last opportunity that they're ever going to get to do this, because Israel's in deep shit. From here on out, all of their support goes down. It may take 1 year, it may take 100 years, but the support for this state over there, the support for our tax dollars and our blood and treasure going over to the Middle East is over. And again, we thought it was over with Donald Trump, but it's not. It's going to be over after Donald Trump. And again, I've told you guys at nauseum at this point. Again, I'm a 3-time Trump voter. I pushed hard for this guy to get elected, and I'm wildly disappointed with what I'm seeing. I'm going to vote blue across the board. Every fucking person I have to vote, I'm going to vote blue. Because again, Donald Trump was supposed to be our champion, and he's not. And he's not even close. In fact, he's the antithesis of what we voted for. And so clearly, we didn't go far enough left in order to bring a strong man or a right-wing leaning guy, a Caesar, a Hitler, whatever you want to call it. We didn't go far enough left to bring that person to vote for, to give us someone to vote for. And so we got to go further left, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, all right, there you go. I put it out there for you guys. Okay, Jason Beatrice, give me Save American Act. I want fair elections. I want confidence in the electoral system. Okay, great. You think that's your biggest problem? And I want it too. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fucking retarded that we can't get, voter ID. Like it seems like basic common sense to me. But again, people don't like it. But again, what about the cost of living, dude? Like, I will trade voter ID and a Democrat rule to bring the cost of living down, right? And I don't know that they're going to do it, but somebody was going to. Donald Trump said he was going to help on this thing. He hasn't done any of it, right? We're all, dumb guy, understands basic supply and demand, okay? We're not getting any fucking supply in this country, okay? You know what we are making? We're making a lot of bombs. We're getting ready to make power stations for AI companies, okay? Where's your guys' housing? Where's your energy and power stations, okay? It's not being done for you guys, right? Where's your increase in wages that outpaces inflation, right? Where's the supply of meat to get the cost of groceries down? Okay, it's not happening. Nothing about this country that is part of the American dream is happening, right? Where is the incentive for young people to get excited about having kids and starting families and growing this country out of needing the third world? Donald Trump was supposed to help us through tariffs, closing the border, and fucking mass deportations. It's not doing any of it, And so it's. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on your guys' comments, So, all right, Jason Patrice, 7362. Every country needs secured borders and fair elections. Yeah, dude, I agree 100%, man. Great comment. Dirty Laundry, 7368. Bipartisan means Democrat agenda. Yeah, I get it, man. I agree. Berserker Zerg's in here. Good to see you, dude. Let's see. The Ganges River looks flammable. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what the Ganges River is, like, go look at this thing. Go Google, guys, the Three Gorges Dam, if I remember correctly. It's the largest dam in the world. It's massive. And it basically holds back the Ganges River, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Shenzhen? I don't remember exactly which city it is, but it's a massive project. It's probably the greatest feat of engineering that we've seen in modern history. It's incredible, So, yeah, and that's China, guys. We used to do these things. I remember we used to fucking send people to the moon, and we used to, build massive Hoover dams. Remember that we had this? You guys probably don't remember this. We had this massive project after the Great Depression. And essentially, we just started building shit, right? This is where the Hoover Dam came from. We had these massive projects to make things because people needed work. We don't seem to do that kind of stuff anymore. It's all just everyone fights everyone, and this is literally why we can't get everything done. Now, we'll go into this. So a few more comments, guys, and then we'll get into these projects. Okay, let's see. Tamika May, 1970. Trump uneducated quote is good in context. I love his quote. I love the poorly educated. I wish I could get a fucking t-shirt of it. I think it's hilarious. It cracks up. And again, I'm super disappointed with Trump, but again, you gotta admire the guy's character, like his appeal is there. Like, I get why the guy's, his charisma, I guess, is off the charts. Okay, commentary connoisseur, man, great name. Nobody matters. You're pretending needs to stop. You're just playing the game to say that you're not. Fake intelligence is the worst and most annoying. Okay, well, where's your comment, dude? Okay, great. What's your what's your solution? Okay, I say this to everyone. Like again, everyone can identify a problem. Everyone likes to bitch. Throw a solution in there. You know, be very helpful. Okay, fake yapper. Okay, well, commentary connoisseur. I appreciate it, dude. All right, Philip, you take us as high. Philip says exactly. Charlie Chip, yes. Philip Eulugia, I wouldn't. I'm not sure you're saying there. Stephen Williams, 8106. McLean, Mr. Clean. Yep, that's me. Who's this? Mellum. Sure you got there. Okay, we sure not. I've always hated the fact that America's always been worried about third worlders when the homeless population is outrageous. U.S. money should stay in U.S. Yeah, and I'm one of these people. Again, if we don't fix the country, like again, I'm the guy. I've got the solutions, you know. And again, you might not like my solutions, but that's all I talk about are solutions. We'll talk about problems, but there's always a solution. You know, we have to get the young family going on again in America, right? We need to get people either going to college and coming out of college with a career that pays enough money to start a family. Otherwise, we're going to end up with dinks, right? We're going to end up with people that are dual income, no kids. And then if we end up and we spiral in this dink society, right? We end up with, and it doesn't sound like a slur, it's a dink society. We end up with needing to bring the third worlds in here because there ain't no one having any kids, right? You got to bring people in to do the work because, again, we're so educated, our brains are so big that we think we're above doing road work. We're above building homes. We're above working in meat processing plants. We think we're above everything, and we think that's good, right? We're beyond that. But I'm telling you guys, that's literally the problem. Again, it's this mentality that we're above all this shit. We always think that someone else is going to do it. Oh, let the third world do it. Bring them in here or outsource it to the third world, and then, you know, everyone will have an office job. Right? Everyone will be a thinker, and this is literally the problem, guys. You know, so okay. 2 more comments, guys, and we're going to dig into these projects. Man, we got a lot of crazy projects, like massive projects that we're not getting done, and it's just leeching the taxpayer, right? And this is the thing I was talking about. Every one of these projects, guys, we'll spend years designing things. We'll spend years, you know, putting think tanks together on the best way to make a bathroom, right? I mean, California is known for making $15 million bathrooms. You know, like most of us would just go get a fucking porta potty. But these guys, they think that they're creating jobs. They think that they're creating the next, you know, innovation in fucking restrooms. They're not creating anything, you know. That's the thing, you know. So they'll say, oh, but I spent $10 million building that bathroom. That bathroom's going to be amazing. You're like, yeah, but people have been pissing outside for 10 years. You know, what did you really accomplish? So anyway, okay. A few more comments, guys. We'll get it. Art, Wicked One. I don't remember you. Wicked One, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good name. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Fuck up when they say me, my country, it's not yours. It's privileged to live here, and someone gives you, shouldn't you paid attention? Okay, you said a lot there, dude, but you didn't say it very well. Try again. Okay, see, it is frustrating. This is Philip. Yes, I get it. See, LA says, all right, we said at the start of the conflict that some people are calling him a wartime president. Donald Trump wants to be a wartime president. Again, I didn't vote for this guy to be a wartime president. He was elected to end conflicts or push conflicts to be ended. He's done nothing. You know, again, if you guys can find one conflict that Donald Trump ended, I will refute it, right? And I'll put out the data to support it, okay? Again, when you guys want to talk about India and Pakistan, again, my wife's from India. Her whole family lives in India, okay? So be careful. You guys want to talk about Gaza and Israel, okay, well, we could talk about that one too. It's up to you guys. Okay, Spider-Man Italian American, a better world without Mr. Trumpstein. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. And again, if Trump doesn't unscrew the situation that he's in right now, this quagmire that he's in where he's not working on American problems, he's going to go down as the Epstein administration, right? Trump is going to, his whole family is going to be dogged by this Epstein thing for the rest of his life. He's going to have 2, 3, 4 generations of the Trump name are all going to be associated with Epstein's if he doesn't start unscrewing the situation that he's in and making life better for America. So anyway, okay, guys, let's go into our next part of our discussion. We're going to talk about, oh, we got people in here. Good. Titans in here. Titans, good to see you, dude. Okay, expand on comics context and important. Yep, again, guys, we've got our moderators in here now, so moderators are just going to basically restrict and delete any guys of your bullshit comments. Anything that is just a stupid, quip, we're getting real. It's only, you got to have a real comment, right? You got to have a suggestion. You got to have a solution. You got to put forth something that adds value to the discussion. Otherwise, we're just going to get rid of you. We don't do, just get Eric to react to things. We just don't do that kind of stuff, So, all right, here we go. So some of the projects, guys, we're going to talk about the projects that are failing in America, and then we're going to talk about the massive infrastructure projects that have worked, so you guys can understand where we were and where we are now and why, right? Now I'm going to go over the Department of Education, because the Department of Education is a good or large part of why we can't get anything done today, okay? It's a perfect example of why that is. Okay, here we go. So, what are the most high-profile infrastructure projects that haven't been completed in America? This is a question that I asked because, again, I don't know everything. What we do here in America is we like to focus on what happened yesterday. We like to focus on what's happening today, and we like to focus on maybe what happened last week. We can't seem to remember too far back, unless it's like a world war kind of a situation. Okay, here we go. So the California high-speed rail project. I think a lot of people know about this project, right? So this project. It's severely delayed and over budget. Shocker, right? Okay, the original plan was 520 miles connecting San Francisco to California, right? Now, again, I'm a Pacific Northwesterner. I grew up, born and raised in Oregon, lived there most of my life. California, the mindset of Californians infected my state of Oregon, and then moved to Washington, completely destroyed the West Coast, made it unlivable. My dad's 70 years old. He says he doesn't even recognize Portland, where he lives. He doesn't recognize the state anymore. He doesn't understand what happened. Right? And it's very sad. It's very sad to see what happened, okay? But here's the problem with California, okay? Current reality, only a small segment of the Central Valley, this is basically Merced to Bakersfield, is under construction. It's under construction, okay? So it started out as a $33 billion project, all right? It's now $128 billion. And the people of California keep paying for this, okay? The federal government keeps providing money for this, right? That bill, that infrastructure bill that Joe Biden passed, okay? This is part of where that money goes. You guys keep paying for this shit because there's no expectation of getting something done. This is the difference between a business owner, right, and a taxpayer. This is the difference between a business owner and a PhD, okay? We have to get things done on time and on budget. And if we do it under budget, guess what? We make a little bit of money, right? But nobody in the government has to do any of that stuff. And the taxpayers are so distracted by the cost of living, distracted by trying to find fucking healthcare for their kids, distracted by our president over there bombing poor people, okay? We're so distracted by all these things that, again, they just keep siphoning off money for themselves. And you're paying for it. Your 22.5% that you pay in income taxes is part of funding this project. If you live in California, you're being raked over the coals every day of your life to pay for projects to nowhere. Okay, so that's probably the most egregious example that I could find of infrastructure projects gone wrong, okay? Why is this project stuck, right? If they have all the money, right? They're in California, the greatest state in America, right? The most beautiful state in America for sure. Why can't they get this stuff done, right? Here we go. Cost overruns, right? Lawsuits, land acquisition issues, political fights, completion date pushed back repeatedly, now projected in the 2030s at earliest or even partial service, okay? Nobody wants to get anything done. Everyone's fighting, right? And again, because we have so many lawyers, right? We got so many laws. We have the inability to push anything forward. We got people that get elected and agree to do something, and then they get out of office, and the next person comes in and says, oh, no, we're going to do it my way. And they just keep pushing the project and pushing the project and pushing the project. And the taxpayer is, again, so inundated with normal life, they can't fucking get anything done. They can't pay attention to these issues. And again, none of these things sunset, guys. And if there's anything I can do for this country at this point, it would be to say that every bill that ever comes into existence has to have a sunset, meaning it has to end. It has to be renegotiated. America has to agree to pay for it again, but that's not how things work, unfortunately. So, okay, so there's one, California high-speed rail project. It's the worst. It's the most egregious. It's at $128 billion. It started at 33, okay? And again, this has been going on for, what is like 15, 20 years at this point. It'll never happen. All right, here's one you guys don't know about. Northeast Corridor rail improvements, right? So this is essentially what they call the Gateway Program, right? So partially funded, but major parts still not built, okay? Project modernize the aging rail tunnel under the Hudson River. This is in New York, right? Critical link between New York and New Jersey, okay? And upgrades the entire northeastern corridor, all right? Why it's delayed? Funding battles between the federal government, New York, and New Jersey. The new Hudson Tunnel was promised years ago, but construction is still in very early stages, okay? So, again, they can't get anything done. Okay, the state doesn't agree with the other state, even though it helps them both. They can't fucking agree on anything, right? The feds, again, they just keep shoveling money and saying, okay, well, you're not getting it done, cost overruns. Okay, well, you're a blue state, so we're going to send you money, right? You're a red state, so we're going to send you money. And again, when the next administration comes in that likes them, okay, we'll give you money. Then the next one goes, we're not going to give you money. And it just waffles back and forth, and nothing happens, guys. But the money keeps going, right? The 22.5% you guys are paying keeps coming, right? Again, you guys are the only thing that is for sure, right? You're the only thing that's going to get done. You're going to pay your fucking taxes, every quarter, and the IRS is going to get theirs, right? So, but again, You don't get infrastructure. You don't get the light speed rail you were promised. You're not getting the tunnel there, the Hudson. You're not getting that, okay? So, but again, you guys keep paying that money, all right? Here we go. I-95 reconstruction projects. Okay, and again, we're going to talk about the initial interstate highway system, which is one of the most amazing engineering feats that we've ever done in America. Okay? Here's where it is today. So various segments of the East Coast main highway remain under long-term construction and reconstruction, especially in Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, again, you guys notice that the closer we get to Washington, the fucking worse shit gets. Philadelphia, I-95 construction corridor through the city, multi-decade project. They can't get it built. And here's the thing, guys. When these projects take so long, anything that they do get done falls into disrepair, and then it has to be reworked again. By the time they actually get something actually completed, well, where they started has to be redone again. And here's the thing, guys. Titan Brew's in here. Titan Brew is had an asphalt company, and Titan, this is a perfect discussion for you. My guess is you probably know more about laying concrete and laying asphalt and how highways and all this shit work. I'm dying to know what you think about these projects. Should this shit take this long? Is it really this expensive? Other things, we got Baltimore again. They got problems there in Baltimore, and again, Francis Scott Key Bridge is in there, right? They can't seem to get that project finished either. Okay, New York to Connecticut corridor, they can't get that done. These are chronically delayed due to traffic management, funding, and environmental review. Okay, you're going to start seeing environmental review in every project. And this is one of the key problems to getting anything done in America. This is one of the reasons that we business owners are like, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything here in America. Let's send it to China, where there's no environmental review, where there's no labor law, where there's no OSHA, there's no EPA. This is one of the big problems that we have in this country. You guys will see this. Anytime you get smart people involved in something, they want to know, well, hey, where's your land impact study, right? Did you pull a permit for that? You know, have you gotten your 1,000 inspections done on that house? Like, this is a problem that we run into, guys. So, and not saying other things shouldn't be safe. Okay, so Second Avenue subway. This is in New York. All right, Second Avenue subway. I got like 3 or 4 of these guys, and then I'm not going to do this all day. Give me just a couple minutes. All right, Second Avenue subway. This is in New York City. Phase 1 opened in 2017 after decades of delays. Okay, so 2017 they got something. They got Phase 1 after decades. Right, that means at least 20 years. Phase 2. Extension, right? Heading it further. Again, they already have subways. New York is the subway capital of America, okay? They know how to do this shit. This is not complicated, okay? And again, I was telling you guys about the Empire State Building. We built the Empire State Building in 415 days. It still stands today as one of the most beautiful buildings we've ever built. We can't build a bridge that already exists. We can't make one right next to it or tear the one that was already built and just make another fucking bridge in under 5 years, all right? So, Phase 2. Extension further north is still in planning and funding stage, okay? With no firm completion date, one of the slowest subway projects in modern U.S. history. Okay, again, we're smarter than we've ever been. We've got more educated people than we've ever had, right? We got more material scientists. We got more engineers. We got more physicists. Yet we don't get anything done. Fucking nothing, okay? And I'm here to tell you guys, this is what academia has done to this country. Because again, we told everyone they're smart. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has to have a say. Well, we got to make sure, you know, every part of the project is very well thought out, very well planned out. Meanwhile, life is passing all of us by. We're like, where the fuck is our road? Where's our buildings? Where's our bridges? Where's our dams? Where's our power stations? Everyone's like, what's the problem? We're working on it. Like, slow your roll there, Wagey. Slow your roll there, taxpayer. We'll get it done. Like, you don't want us to hurry up. We got to make sure it's safe. We got to make sure that, you know, it's not on stolen land. You know, we got to make sure that we got a great diverse group of people that plan this project. And this is why you guys can't get anything done in this country, okay? But everyone agrees on going bombing poor people in the third world, okay? Everyone agrees on supporting Israel, okay? Everyone agrees on that, okay? Honolulu, well, okay, we got a lot of these projects that are fucked up, okay? And again, everyone knows about this Francis Scott Key Bridge is the one that's getting all the debate right now. Excuse me, getting all the hate right now. It's insane. Okay, now, why do all these projects stall? Okay, and again, this is according to Grok, guys. So you got funding fights, right? Funding, like who's going to pay for it? The feds, the state, the local governments, they're all fighting. Again, most people would just plan the project like we as business owners, we do all this shit up front. We get all the payment up front, right? Or we get installment payments or incentive payments or progress payments, right? There's a way to structure this thing, but again, nobody does any of that shit because, God damn it, heaven forbid something actually works, okay? Environmental lawsuits, again, where's all this money come from? Like, I don't have any fucking money to sue the federal government for an environmental issue. Where does this money come from? Oh yeah, you guys pay for all these groups. These are your NGOs, guys. Lengthy permitting permitting process, right? And you got things like NEPA, right? And then we got the NIMBYism type situation, right? No one wants it in their backyard, okay? But again, we all agree to send weapons to the Middle East. Everyone seems to agree on that. Have you guys noticed that? Okay, labor shortages. Apparently, we don't got any fucking labor here, right? Even though we got 30 million illegal immigrants in this country, even though we love to bring people in here on the H-1B visa program, we seem to got lots of managers, we got lots of scientists, we got lots of physicists coming in here. Even though we brought 30 million people in here from South America, we can't seem to get any of these projects done because there's no labor. Like, again, I call bullshit. Political changes. Again, one administration is in office when the project starts, and then suddenly another one comes in and fucks it all up. Okay? You guys pay for it, okay? Again, give me just one last thing, guys, and here we go. Poor project management. Oh my God, shocker. Shocker. You mean that the guy that went and got a degree in project management, he's not good at project management? Holy shit, why is that? Oh yeah, because he doesn't have an incentive to get the project done, right? Because again, he knows that money is just going to show up. You know, he knows, his boss knows that, hey, if I delay this project out, like again, we're going to get more money next year, right? We're going to keep this bitch rolling, and this is how it works, you know? Oh my God, there's a new product, right? Oh my God, no, we found a better concrete. Hey, we're going to bring this concrete in. You know, we got better lime. Okay, that Portland cement. Now we got Maine cement. We're going to try and use that. Oh, let's factor that into our stress analysis, and let's keep this bitch rolling. Hey, bring that money in. More money, more think tanks, more people. This is how it works. It drives me crazy as a business owner, as someone who has to actually deliver a product on time and in full. Only governments can operate this way, guys, and you all pay for it. So, okay, all right, sorry, guys. I ran my mouth there for a long time. We'll get into let's go into comments. Let's get caught up on comments, and then we're going to dig into the construction projects that have worked. And what you guys will notice is the smarter we become, guys, the fucking slower everything goes. And again, no shade against smart people. No shade against people that go to college. No shade against people that have physics degrees and PhDs in this and PhDs and then doctorates and whatever. We need all you people. But we got too many people making decisions, not enough people actually doing shit. So, all right. And my new strategy for doing these casts, because we get so many people in here and I fall behind, is once I'm done talking, I'm just going to go to the end. I'm going to start running through comments. And then again, you guys want your comment read right away. Put it in a super chat, put it in a super gift, and you'll get it read right away. So here, we're going to the end, and we're going to keep going. Okay, I want to find Titan's comments because, again, I was asking him about concrete. I was asking him about the whole construction thing. I want to see if he's got anything here. Constitutional Republic is formed. Okay, Titanberg, you're talking about the... See, Forbes is a right-leaning publication. Yes, historically Democrats. Okay, Titan's saying all kinds of good shit in here. Okay, expand on your comments. Okay, well, Titan's not answering my question, so we'll start here. All right, Titan says a constitutional republic is a form of democracy where we vote majority rule on our congressional representatives, state and local municipal leaders. Okay, that makes sense. All right, J May 123. Oh my God, he's saying you're a democracy now. I know everyone always likes to argue like semantics. You know, like, oh my God, like we don't all know what people mean when you say democracy. They're like, no, it's a constitutional republic. It's like, guys, shut up. Like we all know what we're talking about. You're not adding anything to discussion when you do these semantic games. It gets old. Okay. Oh my God, he misspelled democracy. What a loser. Okay, Clips to Go. Clips to Go, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, two parties that are both owned by the same lobbies. That's not a democracy, that's a scam. Yeah, and again, this thing we got to fix, guys. And again, this is why I keep saying I'm voting blue no matter who, right? Because as a Republican and a lifelong conservative type Republican person who doesn't believe in taxation without representation, I'm going to keep voting blue because Donald Trump was supposed to be our champion. After we went through COVID and saw all the authoritarianism of that time, I thought Donald Trump would come in, especially after they went after him, and I thought that he would just run roughshod over the government. He would crush taxes, he'd close the borders, he'd mass deport people. He would do the things that I wanted him to do. He did none of it. Fucking none of it, man. None of it. It just blew my mind. And so apparently we didn't go left enough. So like I said, I tell you guys, I'm going for 50% income taxes at the federal level. I'm going for letting every illegal into this country. I'm going to go for you guys not being able to afford homes. You guys are not going to be able to afford education, healthcare, childcare, nothing. I'm going to hire fucking illegals. I'm going to hire all the people that I'm able to hire in this country. I'm going to outsource my fucking labor to this place until I get a goddamn champion who comes in here and is going to advocate and do what the fuck we vote him to do, okay? I'm going to vote for fucking Mussolini at this point. Like, I will vote for anyone that actually does what they say they're going to do. I'm tired of the Democrats doing what they say they're going to do and then watching all the bad shit happen to America. And then a Republican comes in and does nothing. They go to war. They send all your guys' tax dollars to the Middle East. Like, I'm tired of it, right? When they say they're going to close the borders and kick out the illegals, they close the borders, But then they let all the Chinese in here to go to our colleges, right? They let all the H-1B visas in here coming to work at our businesses, right? This is what they do. And I know that they're still letting people cross that border. Again, not as many, I get it. But again, the people are still coming in, and it doesn't matter who you guys vote for. Like, I hate even saying it, but it's just kind of what it's come down to. Okay, let's see, it's Delco Tarot. How do we get a better kind of troll? Momo and Gmail are disappearing. I'm not sure what you're saying there, dude. All right, Momo79X, censoring speech and telling us how to speak. Excuse me, we aren't Democrats here. We like freedom. Yeah, I thought I liked freedom. I'm a freedom-loving guy, but I don't see freedom is better in this country than it was during COVID, obviously. But again, when you guys vote for somebody to do something and they don't do it, again, like, give me 50%. I'll take 50%. Give me 50% of what Donald Trump voted for. I'll take that. But we're not getting it. So it says, no, I'm a democratic socialist. Tighten your democratic socialist. All right, dude, cool. Okay, Lozo 18877. I guess he just likes humiliating people, doesn't offer a single solution. Okay, who is he? And again, if you're talking about me, or are you talking about Trump? Again, and tell me exactly what you're talking about, and I'll give you a solution, okay? Okay, Momo79, at least I'm not a grown adult using tarot. Okay, I'm not sure what you got going on with tarot cards. Is it like a tarot card thing? I'm not sure what's going on. Jimmy123, how's that working out for you, Titan? Oh, okay, you guys are going back and forth. All right, cool, man. Titan, looks like you're going to have to defend yourself, dude. It works great. I can afford it. I know. The Machine Gun Kelly, you guys are going to know this. He's a rapper. He's a white dude. He's got a great line. He says, the best thing is revenge through success, right? And this is exactly how I look at life. This is how I live my entire life. I've had a chip on my shoulder since I left Corvallis, Oregon in 2002. Like, it's just, I've had it all my life. And again, I love it when I see people from my past. I just fucking love it when they tell me how much of a loser I was going to be and how I was never going to amount to anything. And because I didn't go to college, I was never going to make it. I was always going to be poor. My family wasn't going to think anything of me. I love it. Titan, I'm sure you are of a similar ilk, like revenge through success. It's the best thing. Okay, sports pajamas designer, do you think we actually use tarot? Okay, good. You guys are arguing with each other. I love it. Okay, visit resplendentco.com and view the host business and products. Yeah, okay, again, and you guys don't know, I own the Resplendent Co. We're a furniture company. I don't have any bullshit to sell you guys. There's no t-shirts and coffee cups. I don't have a master class on how to get you rich. I don't sell any of that bullshit. We don't have sponsors on here, right? If you want to support the channel, you can do a super chat. You can do super gifts. There's a $99 a month thing to just support the channel. If you guys want to subscribe to that, it's great. I appreciate it, but we don't need money here. We have an actual business, so these are the things we talk about on the channel. We talk about current events. You guys want to know how to start a business. You want to know how woodworking works. You want to know how to paint. You want to know how to work with metal. We do all that shit, and we talk about that as well. So, okay. So this is Loza 18877. So what exactly do you want people to do if you have some grand vision of how to undo all this? Okay, that's a good question. Okay, let's dig into that real quick. So where do I see the grand vision for this country, right? So, okay, let's look at when we elected Donald Trump. Donald Trump ran on closing the borders, right? This is something I think needs to happen. Donald Trump also ran on mass deportations. He didn't run on kicking out the criminals. He didn't campaign on just kicking out the murderers and the rapists. That's not what he ran on. He ran on mass fucking deportations, okay? This is the other thing that I think we need. Not because I want these people to leave and not because I think these people shouldn't be here, but it's because it's the law, right? So Donald Trump also ran on law and order. This is the other thing that we need to fix this country. We need law and order. You want to give these people amnesty? You want them to stay here? Great. Congress has to do its job and change the laws. Otherwise, you need to get them the fuck out of here. This is why we have ICE. This is why we have Border Patrol, to protect our borders and get rid of the illegals. Okay, this is how our country works. This is the one thing that you need to fix. Donald Trump ran on this. He is not doing it. Okay? Some of the other things you need to do, you need to stop sending our blood and treasure to the third world so that we have something left here for Americans. Okay? Donald Trump ran on ending foreign conflicts. He is not doing it. He's actually making it worse. He's spending $2 billion a day right now. Israel gets $4 billion a year, okay? We send hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, over to the Middle East in my lifetime, right, to support a country that, again, I'll never go to, most Americans will never go to, and I could personally give a fuck about, okay? I care about the people that live here, right? If you want me to spend money, again, I'm a business owner. If you want me to spend money, you better give me a fucking ROI. And again, America doesn't care about ROI. Our politicians don't care about ROI. The only people that are getting paid are the people in government. Like, you guys aren't seeing a net benefit or any of this stuff. Donald Trump ran on all these things that I believe in that would fix this country. He's not doing any of it, right? I believe in paying less money in the federal government. I believe in things like balancing a budget. Balancing the budget would cause a recession, right? I'm all for it. Balance a budget, cause a recession. what will come back will be better. Okay? Balance the budget, right? That means you're going to cut off some of the welfare. You're going to cut off some of the military spending. You're probably going to cut off the Department of Education. You're probably going to cut off some of the Department of Energy. You're going to cut the government down by probably 50%. You're going to lose a lot of jobs. Guess what? All those leech federal employees, they're going to have to go into the private sector. They're going to have to get innovative. They have to get creative. They're going to have to find a way to convince you to give them your money. Okay? Coercion isn't the best way to make money in this country if we do it my way. This is the only tool the federal government has, guys, is coercion. If you don't pay your fucking taxes, they come after you, okay? That is not democracy. That is theft. That is theft through a gun, right? And this is the kind of economy we have today, and we need to fix this economy. We need more innovators. We need more people starting businesses. We need more people believing that America works in the way that it worked for their grandfather, it worked for their parents, right? And until we do that, we're in deep shit. And Donald Trump ran on all these things, guys. He's not doing any of it. None of it. In fact, he's got things so fucked up here right now that he is literally trying to get you guys to focus on the third world so that you won't focus on your home. Okay? So if you want to know how to fix the government, these are some of the things that we need to do, right? Some of the other things that Donald Trump ran on, right? Talked about closing the borders, kicking out the illegals, right? Lowering taxes. He did not lower taxes. Okay? He lowered taxes for corporations. He created a shit ton of carve-outs. He helped you guys on the people that run on tips and the people that run on overtime, okay? That's a tiny, infinitesimal amount of the people, okay? Most people aren't getting in tons of overtime. In fact, if you listen to Mr. Juggles yesterday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says that unemployment is low and the economy is doing great. But the reason more people aren't getting overtime is because most people have 3 or 4 jobs, or excuse me, 2 or 3 jobs, okay? And again, the Bureau of Labor Statistics isn't going to point this out. They're not going to say that people are actually, the money that they earn today is worth less than it was yesterday. Every fucking day, your money is worth less because the government is literally printing money to stabilize our banks and keep liquidity in the economy. Okay, so again, we need to reform the Fed. And the first thing you do is you audit the Fed. You want to know how you fix that? Here's more solutions, right? We need to audit Fort Knox because, again, if we're going to have the threat of going back to the gold standard, we got to know there's some fucking gold left. We don't know that, right? You want to cut the budget. You want to help out the taxpayer, give the taxpayer some of their money back. You're going to have to cut the DOD budget. Okay, and the first thing you do is you got to know, well, where's the money going? How much money is actually being spent? That means you got to audit them, right? Again, these are basic things, guys. These are not big moves, but nobody wants to do it because, again, you're worried about Republicans are worried about Democrats. Black people are worried about white people. Women are worried about men. The lower class is worried about the upper class. It's always what somebody else needs to give up so that you can have more. And the truth is, guys, everybody needs to take less. Fucking everybody. That means you might not get a McMansion, right? You might have to go live with your mom and dad a little bit longer, right? Mom and dad may have to go live with their kids because guess what? Social Security, you got to take less. Medicare, you got to take less. Medicaid, you guys got to take less. We're all going to have to pull this bitch together to draw the budget down from the federal government so you guys can have more say over your lives. But again, I don't got any solutions, right? So there you go. There's a long-winded set of solutions, and I got 1,000 more. I didn't even talk about academia. I didn't even talk about small business owners hiring the poor, teaching our own people how to do some shit instead of letting them live and die on welfare, okay? We haven't talked about building up pride in this country again, learning how to make some shit, learning how to fix some shit, right? Learning what quality really means, learning what value really means, okay? We don't want to do any of that here, you know? So again, no solutions, right? Okay, I just gave you a ton of them. Let's hear what yours are. Let me guess, so you just want to tax the rich, right? You want to take from Jeff Bezos. He's evil. I want to hear it. Those solutions are so tired. Okay, Dave from Wendy's, man. I love your name. Great, and you even got the Wendy's symbol. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. You can plenty done. All right, not sure what's there. Okay, a lot of these issues I faced as a road construction business owner were in place to ensure the infrastructure would last for the full life of the project. Safety issues were also a daily challenge. Okay, well that must mean that you want people to get injured. Okay, let's see, CNN is calling. Okay, you guys want to look at the headlines on CNN right now? Again, it's nothing that helps you guys. I mean, I literally got Fox News and CNN pulled up here. Again, it's all bullshit, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, you guys are talking together. That's cool, man. Titan, good, man. Titan's in here just fucking getting rid of all you people. Okay, if you're doing comment junk, you'll be timed out. Participate in the discussion at hand. Love it. Thank you, dude. Again, I really appreciate our moderators. I try and say it. I don't say it enough. I've tried to do this cast without you guys, man, and it is tough. I don't like it. It's no fun. So, man, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see, Momo. If you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, add the discussion. And again, we're talking about like, what are we going to do in America, right? Is our voting system working? Like, are we going to try and restructure the world to make America a great place again because it's not, or are we going to work on America to make America a great place again? This is this inflection point. What are we going to do? We elected someone to work on America. He's working on the third world, right? I don't know what we're doing, guys. I don't know why we're doing this. Okay. What's with the rules in this Reddit? Okay, well, sorry, Momo. You're just gonna have to deal with it. You go start your own chat, man. You can make whatever rules you want. Delco Toro Titan, you know who the actual trolls are. Kick them. All right, it's almost like voting doesn't do anything. Yeah, I know, and this is the problem, guys. And this is the thing. And the only thing we can do, guys, is to keep talking about these issues because, again, what you're seeing in the media right now is you're literally. This is hilarious, guys. If you go to CNN, go to Fox News, go to any of these cable networks that are dying, they're literally trying to make their networks look like podcasts now. But at the same time, they're trying to say that podcasts don't matter, and the podcasters are the only people that are against the war, right? The podcasters are the only people that are really against what's going to help America. The podcasters aren't MAGA, right? The podcasters aren't American first. They're literally trying to alienate us while trying to be us, which is hilarious, right? I mean, you guys, I hope you guys see this. Like, just go watch any of these places. They're all cool and they're laid back, and they literally have to explain to themselves. They literally have to explain to the boomers what the fuck's going on, because the boomers are used to seeing some, tall white guy with a nice jawline with a suit and tie, looking like Bill O'Reilly. They're looking for this guy to tell them the news, and they're getting people like us here, got fucking Costco shirts on, a little microphone. Like, why the fuck is this guy on here? They don't understand, and it's hilarious, So anyway. Okay, see, the host is looking for meaningful comments, contributions. He said, yep, again, thanks, Titan. Again, we only want meaningful discussions, guys. I'm not trying to interact with you guys if you don't have anything meaningful to say. This is one of the things people like about this cast. This is how we've grown this channel, is by restricting the bullshit, right? We only talk about the things that are productive and helpful, that engage everyone in the discussion. Otherwise, what's the point? We basically become extra. We just throw some stupid, innocuous comment out there and look for likes. Like, again, like no one's gonna follow you if you don't have anything constructive to say, right? It's just not gonna happen. Okay, 18877. Pretty funny. All of you here is how we're losing and getting robbed. No one cares about us. We get it. Okay, well, again, I laid out a bunch of solutions. I'm, again, a business owner who's actually working on some of these problems. I want more people to do the same, and so that's, if you don't like this content, move on. Crazy how people can go their whole lives with their hand in a hole. Okay, not sure what you're saying there. Mike Murphy, good name, man. Mike Murphy was a boss. Good morning. Good to see you, Mike. All right, let's see where we're at in the comments. How am I doing? Oh my God, I'm kind of behind. Okay, moving up in the comments, guys. Let's go through. Let's do a minute or two of comments, and then we're going to dig into the infrastructure projects that have actually worked, right? When these projects were done. Again, these are all going to be from the 50s and up, essentially. And let's see why projects worked back then and they don't work anymore. So, all right. Titan says, my parents thought I would be the family loser when I left high school. I recently bought them a house and moved them closer to me to take care of them and their elderly years. Man, Titan, you're awesome, dude, man. Like, what a great story. And this is the thing, guys. Like, again, you don't have to go to high school. You don't have to graduate college. You don't have to follow the perfect path in order to make in this country. But again, if you listen to the people that are telling you the path, that's the only way to make it. And they'll always say, oh, no, you don't. Of course, there's people that don't finish high school. And of course, there's people, but they're the exception. I'm here to tell you guys that we're not the exception. We're actually more average and ordinary than you think. And this idea that you're going to go to college and get a good paying job and you're going to have, the 2.5 kids, the ranch home with the fence and the BMW and the dog in the driveway, this is not the reality anymore. Things have changed, and I'm here to spout that message till again, no one listens to me, no one follows me anymore. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, Momo 797. Gym rat, complete NPC mentality to take. This is why nothing changes. Again, Gym rat's in here. Gym rat, good to see you, dude. Jim Rat's one of these guys I didn't agree with in the very beginning. He was kind of more like a shit poster to me, but he seemed to have some really good comments last time he was in here. So we got a lot more input from him, which I really appreciate. Okay, Kreezik. I'm gonna say Kreezik, something like that. Okay, Donald Trump, you mean the felon? Okay, well, and again, Donald Trump's not a felon. They basically changed the rules. They created new laws in order to make this guy a felon. Anyone that makes clerical mistakes, and again, whether it's intentional or not intentional, these are not felonies. Adding, mislabeling payments is not a felony. Okay, I'm here to say, but whatever. You guys can believe whatever you want. Okay, basically care about law, but don't care about the criminal who's running the country. Yeah, I know. And again, what's he, a rapist, right? Again, the woman that he potentially or supposedly raped, what was it, like 25, 35 years ago. He's a convicted rapist too, right? You guys believe that shit too. Again, women are always right, right? Me too. Again, no one believes that shit anymore, So, but whatever. And again, I'm one of these guys. Like, I think Donald Trump's a piece of shit. Like, from a character standpoint, again, the guy's a womanizer. I talk about the vices of men, right? With men, it's generally going to be gambling, it's going to be alcohol, it's going to be drugs, and it's going to be pussy. This is how it is, right? Donald Trump doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and he doesn't gamble. There you go. This is why Donald Trump is most likely in the Epstein files, and most likely, surrounds himself with a lot of questionable people that are in the Epstein files. My guess is he's probably in there as well, So, or not in there, but there's more to his Epstein connection than we all kind of realize. And again, it'll never come out because his Department of Justice is crooked, okay? But again, this is Kryzak. So Kryzak, watch a few more of these streams. Go back and watch some of my old streams if you really want to know my opinions on Donald Trump and how I look at him and how I look at things like the Epstein files and the Department of Justice, the CIA, Mossad, FBI, all these kind of things. So, all right, Preston Thorpe. I've never seen you before. Preston Thorpe, good to see you, dude. Sounds like Doge, which failed spectacularly. Yeah, no, Doge actually worked there, Preston. Doge was awesome. So Doge identified $215 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse, right? Whether you believe it was waste, fraud, and abuse or not, they identified it, and it was identified. There's metrics for all this stuff. It's cataloged, and it's noted. You can go look it up. Now, the problem is that the government, which is generally our problem today, didn't codify any of it. They codified $9.4 billion of it, which was basically getting rid of USAID, right? The NGO group. They got rid of PBS and they got rid of NPR. That's it. None of the other cuts were done. None of the other waste, fraud, and abuse was codified by Congress. Again, they're not interested. They want that money to come back. And in the next government and in the next presidency, all that funding will come back. You guys are paying your 22.5% federal income taxes. And again, just keep paying, wagey, right? Keep writing that check to the federal government, right? Let your employer take your fucking money and give it to the federal government. That's what your job. That is your job, okay? Right? Everything's unaffordable. You just keep paying your taxes. Your federal government doesn't have to get audited. They're not accountable to anyone, but guess what? You are, right? Pay your money, bitch. That's the government that we live in, dude. That is the situation that we're in today. And again, I don't think anyone disputes what I'm saying, So anyway, Doge was a good thing, and again, I think Doge should be back every year. But again, it's hard for Doge to do its job when the federal government won't let Doge audit things. Like, there's very specific things that Doge can't audit, which I find to be hilarious. So anyway, okay, Big Juggles, you're correct on immigrants. All of my neighbors are business owners, and they're from Cuba, China, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. Yeah, Tiger, you got it, dude. You nailed it. There's a lot of these groups from other countries. They're wildly entrepreneurial because where they come from, that's the only way to make it. And again, Juggles, I didn't see you coming in here, but Juggles, I'm glad you're here, dude. Juggles is a good dude. Titans, again, business owner. Juggles is an economist, so if you guys don't know. So, yeah, a lot of these people are just, the only way to make it in the third world is essentially to be entrepreneurial. So when they come here to America, they see more opportunity and more ways to make money than they've ever seen in their lives. And this is one of the reasons that most Americans cannot compete with a third world when they come in here. There's no way. The best hires we've ever had are first-generation immigrants, right? It's just, they're incredible workers, and all they see is opportunity. It's nice to be around that kind of a culture as an American, So as a guy who works 60, 70 hours a week every week, So it's awesome. Okay, no ROI return on investment. Yeah, we've got none. Ellie, the ROI on our government is $39 trillion loss. And again, I'm one of these guys, I don't think that the government has to make money every year. But at some point, some years, the federal government has to see a gain, right? At some years, it at least has to balance, right? But nobody wants to do that. Again, just pay your 22.5%. Pay your 25%, wagey. Go to work 40 hours, go work 2 jobs, and pay your fucking income taxes, bitch. That's the situation that we live in today. It's disgusting, guys. All right, let's see, hamster line, or excuse me, hamster time, 2224, keep religion out of government. Yeah, and these are the things that you guys focus on. Oh, God, religion and government, that's the problem. Jim Rat's here. Good to see you, dude. I completely agree with you. I'm somebody with the right, and I'm proud of it, and I can save my side. Absolutely is part of the problem. It's just the way it is. Okay, not sure you guys are saying something there, but good you guys are having a conversation. This dude's crazy. Literally, some things he's spot on, but saying Donald Trump isn't doing what he said he was going to do is completely horseshit. Okay, well, Jim Rat, that's cool, dude. And again, you guys can push back against me. I love the pushback. But again, tell me what Donald Trump is doing that he voted for, right? And again, closing the border, I'm all for it. He absolutely did that. He did some tax cuts. I think they were bitch-ass tax cuts, but he did do those things, okay? Other than that, I don't think he's done jack shit. So anyway, you can disagree with me, Jim Ratton. Again, I love, you know me, I love the pushback, dude. So I really appreciate you being in here. Okay, I agree, Jim. Very clear to see. All right, cool. I want to build up the military, bigger budget. Okay, well, Donald Trump wants what? He wants $1.5 trillion. So again, it'll be nice if we did have a $1.5 trillion, because then we wouldn't have to see the embarrassment of the number one line item on our budget being interest. Okay, Trump broke one of his main campaign promises by attacking Iran, a mission that should have involved our allies in the onset, not call for their help after that. Yeah, and again, Titan, I agree 100%. I would have been more in line with this situation had we had a coalition of the willing, so to speak. I would have been, again, you can't talk shit to NATO and tell them what a bunch of fucking, lazy, entitled wasps they are, whatever fucking word you want to use. Like, you can't tell them that for years, right? Tell them how they mooch off of America, and then you go in and fuck up their only source of energy, and then basically call them bitches for not going in and opening the strait back up. Like, it's wild thinking. Like, I cannot even wrap my head around the retardation that it takes to even be able to say something like that with a straight face. Like this, and this is back to what I go about, do unto others as you would have done to you. Again, Trump doesn't believe in any of this, right? Taking care of your neighbor, right? Helping out your neighbor, right? Helping out your allies, okay? Again, wild, dude, so wild. But again, I mean, you guys, you keep, this is the way you like your president to act, and more power to you, so. Okay, Mr. Juggles, all right, Mr. Juggles' message was retracted. All right, that's interesting. All right, Titan says, Trump was still drawn into a fight that he shouldn't have taken on alone with only one other country. Yeah, and again, Titan, I said it before. Again, Trump, I don't think Trump would have done this at all. I think Trump doesn't want to be in wars. I think he's a non-interventionalist type of. His instincts are always right. His follow-through is horrible. Like, the guy is just absolutely the worst, especially when he takes input from people. His instincts are always dead on. Like, again, during COVID, Trump, when they told him he has to shut down the economy, Trump's like, fuck that, I ain't shutting down the economy. You're crazy. You can't shut down the economy. And before you know it, they beat him over the head, beat him over the head, beat him over the head. They were pushing the death tolls live on television. You guys remember this stuff? And eventually he caved, and we ended up with what we had, right? Which is the most inflationary time in human history. Right? It made life more unaffordable than it's ever been in human history. You guys are literally living through it right now. It's insane what you guys are living through without a recession. Your spending, the spending that we have today, we are spending like we are in World War II. This is how much spending we have going on today. We're acting as though we're fighting a world war with the levels of spending that we have. Our debt to GDP is as much as it was during World War II, right? And we're a much larger economy than it used to be. So the way that we're living today is insane, and everyone acts like it's just it's just another day. Again, people's ability to be obtuse, right, is just it blows my mind. So, okay, Momo. Hence says why they killed him, Sway and the youth. They branched off and started his own independent thing. Well, again, I don't know how Charlie Kirk was killed. I don't understand all that, but I do know that the youth want nothing to do with war. They want nothing. They're tired of it. They're tired of not being able to afford things. They're tired of not being able to have kids. They're tired of being told that if they're white, they're bad. They're tired of being told that if they, are heterosexual, that, they're oppressing people that aren't. They're just tired of a lot of things. They're tired of being told that, you have to go to college, otherwise you're a loser. They're tired of being told, that they can't have nice things, that they can't save for retirement. They can't do what their parents and their grandparents did, right? And they're tired of being told that they don't work hard. They're tired of being told that, there's a million things that young people are just tired of. And now they're becoming the voter base. So again, boomers, neocons, Fox News watchers, CNN watchers, get what you can now, because again, it's over. Like, you've got 5 to 10 years, and all your hopes and dreams are gone. And I don't want to see the decline of America. I don't know that that's what will happen, but my guess is that if America pulls back and lets these other countries kind of fight it out a little bit, I think America will probably be fine. If America stops sending all of our money to China so they can build up their military and become the next superpower, I think that we'd probably be okay, But I never finished high school, so do with that information what you will. Okay, Big Juggles, we're going to read your comment, and then we're going to dig into the infrastructure projects that have actually worked. And we're going to go over why they worked, and then you guys need to contrast them with what we're doing today. And then tell me, let's start the conversation about, again, if you guys think that I'm crazy about the academia thing, okay? Here we go, Mr. Juggles. Let's hear. Most academic economists would also say, like I have, that the economy is not going well. You seem to be conflating pundits on TV with actual experts. Again, The actual experts are the people that are on TV, dude. And again, I know what you're saying. You're saying that there are a lot of real academics, people that are looking at different kinds of data sets. And I don't know if you all look at the same. I guess you probably look at different ones. You're saying that there's better academics. But the problem, dude, is if they don't end up on television, if they're not on podcasts, if they're not talking to the people that we all watch, which is not actually that many people, if you don't get these academics getting on more of these podcasts, putting out real data and real information that more people can see, it doesn't matter. Because again, Americans got other shit to worry about. They can't be looking at your, watching. Again, Mr. Juggles, you said you've done a lot of panels and you do a lot of these talks. Again, we don't know who you are. You haven't put your information out there at all. Like, again, are you, let us know where we can find you. Let us know where we can watch some of your talks. Let us know who the academics are that we should be watching. We know that you like to use the Bureau of Labor Statistics for information. That's great. What else do you got? Put it in the discussion, because again, if you're not willing to put yourself out there and you're not willing to tell people why they should listen to you and sell your case, you're basically relying on someone else to do it. You're just another talking head with an opinion, but again, no one knows who you are. So that's kind of how I see it, Mr. Juggles. And again, you're on it. You're way up here with me, dude. Like I have a lot of hope for you, and I believe that you probably have a lot of great information. If anyone can change my opinion, it sounds like you're the guy. But yeah, keep working on it. Spend some time in here. We'll do this. Okay, guys, we're going to go to what projects have worked. Massive infrastructure projects that have worked in the past. You guys see if you've ever been to any of these places, if you ever used any of these infrastructure projects. Okay, so my question was, obviously I talked about, give me some of the high-profile failed ones so that we can all kind of understand what they are. Now let's do the inverse, right? Compare the successful infrastructure projects. All right, here we go. So we obviously know the ones that failed. We know about the California high-speed rail. We know about the Francis Key Scott Bridge thing. We got that clusterfuck. We talked about the Hudson Tunnel. That's screwed. The Honolulu Rail Project. That's not doing anything. Okay. Here's the ones that worked. Okay. You guys ever been on the interstate highway system? You guys ever use this thing? How's that working out? You guys ever driven across America? I mean, the funny thing about most people is most people have never even visited all 50 states. Like, most people have never even been around America. The reason we can do it, one of the greatest things about this country is that we share this interstate highway system, right? This was done by President Eisenhower. And again, I should probably double check this. Yeah, I believe it was Eisenhower, if I remember correctly. It was done in the 50s, okay? This project started in 56. It was done in 1992. There was actually a completion date, okay? It took $543 billion, okay? 47,000 miles of road, okay? And basically the reason that it succeeded was because it had strong federal leadership. Back in the 50s and through the 90s, everyone agreed that this was good for the country. There was nobody that was going to stop this thing, right? They all agreed, and this thing moved along for basically 35 years, and it was completed. It was actually done. It cost $543 billion. That's in today's money, right? So massive project. It happened, okay? Consistent funding and bipartisan support, okay? This is the thing, okay? Pay attention to this whole bipartisan support thing, okay? That was 1956 to 1992. Okay, next project. You guys ever heard of this little thing called Hoover Dam? You guys ever been there? Pretty fucking cool. Pretty amazing, okay? When did we build that? Could we even build that today? Is it even possible to do a project like that? Like, oh my God, do you know the fucking liberal academic pussies that would be crying about the Native Americans? That's indigenous land. Don't you dare build that. Right? Okay. The Hoover Dam is a very cool project, by the way, for many reasons, other than the fact that it generates power and that it's very cool to look at. There's a lot of other reasons that thing was built, okay? Now, that was done in 1931 through 1936, right? That was kind of an important time. What was happening during that period of time, guys, right? Again, a time when we didn't have a lot of money. People were kind of there's a little thing going on. I think it was called the Great Depression. Kind of an important period of time. It cost $760 million in today's dollars, okay? In today's dollars, it didn't even cost $1 billion to do this thing, okay? It was built in 5 years, okay? Again, these are fucking guys that are on ropes. These are on ropes putting charges in the earth, right? They're there with pickaxes and mining tools hanging from fucking ropes. Very rudimentary scaffolding. Thousands and thousands and thousands of men did this project, okay? Thousands of them, okay? Took them 5 years to do it, okay? Massive undertaking. We can't build a fucking bridge right next to another bridge here in America. We can't do it, right? It just, I am so frustrated with the state of our country, okay? And again, we got more engineers than ever. We got more planners than ever. We got the smartest managers we've ever had. Can't get nothing done, okay? It took 5 years, right? The goal of the Hoover Dam, this will blow your guys' mind. The goal, they planned on this fucking project taking 7 years. They finished this thing 2 years before, and they finished it under budget, okay? No government does that today in America, anywhere in this entire country. No state does that. No federal project is done on time and under budget, okay? Clear goal, strong management, national priority during the Depression. That's why this project got done, okay? You guys heard of this little thing called the Manhattan Project? You might not think of that as infrastructure, but you got a lot of cool shit that happened, okay? But we'll skip that one, right? What about the Apollo program? You guys remember this? You guys love, what happened to the space race? It took fucking Elon Musk, a guy who wasn't even from America, wasn't even born here. It took a guy like that to bring back the space race, right? NASA, again, the smartest people in the world, everyone's going to NASA, increased NASA spending every year. What'd they do? They fucking wasted all that money. It took a guy from South Africa to come here with an idea to basically put a web of satellites around this country, to talk about going to Mars, to getting young people excited again about doing something other than fucking surviving. Okay, it took a guy who doesn't even live here. That's a great thing about this country, okay? Took a person like that. Again, we spent all the money. We had all the resources. Have you guys ever heard of Operation Paperclip? When we brought over all the engineers and all the scientists from Germany and Russia during World War II, these people created NASA, created our propulsion technology. Okay, again, had all the funding that they needed. Again, we got a shuttle into space. Apparently, we went to the moon a couple of times, but then completely cut off. It seems like we just could never do that again. It takes a guy from South Africa, not even an American, to just... Anyway, Apollo program. The Apollo program ran from 1961 to 1972, okay? Cost $280 billion for that program, okay? We sent a whole bunch of these capsules into space. We landed humans on the moon in under 9 years. National goal and huge funding and political will. Everyone was behind this, okay? The country was behind all of these projects, guys, okay? Everyone was invested in getting these things done. Transcontinental Railroad. Oh my God, you guys ever use this? I mean, you guys know how the train system helps us even to this day, okay? This started in 1863 to 1869, okay? In 6 years, $150 billion in today's dollars, okay? Connected the fucking East Coast to the West Coast. 6 years, okay? Government land and private competition, okay? Again, do you think these guys, when they were trying to lay track back then, they were worried about the Native Americans? Do you think they were worried about making sure they had enough trannies? Do you think they were worried about having enough gay people? You think they were worried they had enough women swinging pickaxes to make sure that that project, had equality in it? Like, think they were worried about any of this shit? You think they were worried if the guy that was planning where he was going to plant the golden spike? You think they were worried if that guy had a bachelor's in science, right? You think they were worried about any of that shit? No. They just needed competent people to get the fucking work done. We don't do that today, okay? Port of Los Angeles, modernization, okay? That's actually on this list. Here's something that actually worked in modern times. You got one fucking project, guys. Again, it seems to me about 1970, the country stopped working. That's really what I see. About 1970 is when we stopped being able to do anything as a country, right? Yeah, 77, okay? The end of the 70s, we'll say that, okay? Port of Los Angeles, from 2000 to 2010s, okay? They basically, they grew the Port of Los Angeles. There's two main ports there in California, but they grew this thing. It was done. It was on budget and it was on time, right? Successfully expanded capacity for larger ships, right? Again, we need more shit, so we need bigger places to bring that shit in, right? Clear economic incentives, steady funding. Wasn't that complicated. Got done, okay? Last one is the Alaska Pipeline. This happened in 1974. On time and on budget. Built in 3 years. Still operating today, okay? National energy and security priority, okay? And the one thing that's not listed on here that I always talk about is the Empire State Building. We built it in 415 years, or 415 days, okay? And what you guys will notice is that basically, we did a lot of great things in the 20s through the 50s, right? When times were hard, when we were going through world wars, when we were going through Great Depressions, the country galvanized around a difficult time, meaning the Great Depression. FDR put in the New Deal, right? You had these things that were really good for this country. We did a lot of great things. And then once things got rolling again, bring in the 1980s, right? When we essentially thought that capitalism, or not capitalism, we thought that finance was going to be the greatest thing, right? Instead of making things, we're going to become rent seekers. We're going to have a society of people that operate in finance. We're going to move into a situation where we have lots of, VCs, venture capitalists, right? We're going to move into private equity. We're in a situation where, again, we got a lot of people thinking, we got a lot of people pooling their money together and buying shit. Not a lot of people making shit, guys. We're not doing that anymore. We don't make anything. Because guess what? If you guys make something, what happens? You end up with supply. We don't want to create supply in this country, but guess what happens when you get supply, right? Prices come down. You get competition. You get choice. We don't want that in this country anymore, and so we fight. Every government, every political party fights each other. Poor people fight rich people. Rich people fight poor people. Black people fight white people. Women fight men. I say it all the time. This is why we can't get anything done in this country. Back then, because everyone was poor. Everyone was struggling. Everyone knew we needed reasons for people to do shit, right? Governments were spending gobs of money to try and get shit done. Everyone agreed about the war, right? Everyone agreed we got to go fight the Nazis. Everyone agreed we got to go liberate Europe. Everyone got on board. We can't get on board with nothing today. Absolutely nothing. And I'm not sure I know how to fix that, but I know for a fact that academia's got a big fucking role to play in it, okay? Big role. So anyway, those are some of the projects that really worked. I thought it was a good list of things that worked, okay? Here's some of the reasons why these projects succeeded while the others failed, okay? Clear, urgent national purpose, whether it was war, economic crisis, or strategic need, okay? We don't have any problems in this country, apparently. We can't all seem to agree on something. A lot of the reasons that we're able to do shit is because of hardship, okay? We've had it too easy in this country for a long time. Hard times are coming, guys. Strong central leadership through real authority. People like Eisenhower. Things like Eisenhower. Bipartisan political support. The consistent long-term funding. Again, we approved projects and we got projects done and we funded them through their completion. Now, again, one party gets in power. We don't want to do that. That's for the rich people. Another party gets in power. We don't want to do that. That's for the poor people. No one can agree on anything. It's super frustrating. Okay, realistic timelines and accountability mechanisms. Okay, again, we got no accountability mechanisms. No one knows how to get things done, right? If everyone goes to college, that means they've never done anything. And I'm way outside of my bounds here. I'm going to offend a lot of people, but this is what I know a lot of college people. I've hired a lot of college people. These people don't know how to do shit. Not a fucking thing. They're great at sending an email. They're great at planning. They're great at doing stress analysis. They're great at telling you why you should use this material over that material. They're horrible at getting anything done because they don't have to. And it's wildly frustrating as a guy who literally has to do this every day of his life. Wildly frustrating. You know how many people tell me, like, oh my God, Eric, you're doing it all wrong. You need to do it the way I do it. I hear it all the time. Okay. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about with these infrastructure projects. I thought it'd be kind of interesting for you guys to hear where these infrastructure projects are today that are failing, the things we've done in the past, and how fucking amazing they are, and the fact that they're still here. This is the thing. Again, most people don't understand. They're still here. When you allow tons of people to go to school for STEM, right, on the engineering side, when you incentivize managers, you incentivize thinkers, you incentivize people that care about the land and care about the indigenous people, you don't get anything done. You get nothing done, guys. It's wildly frustrating, again, as a taxpayer. I lose people when I start talking this way, but man, I don't give a shit. This is what I see the problem is. And again, I've got it pulled up over here. The numbers on the Department of Education, okay? These stats on the Department of Education are staggering. The amount of money we spend educating people and the amount of benefit we get from society by educating these people is insane. It might be the worst department in American history, okay? And it was started in 1979. We've been doing this thing for like almost 50 years now, and the ROI is a disaster. And it is a stain on this country, the amount of money we've spent on this thing, and literally just blamed it on rich people. We blamed everything on rich people. And the truth is that we keep paying teachers more and more. We keep spending more and more money on building buildings that take more and more money to build, more and more money to plan. We spend more and more money on kids, and we don't demand any kind of an ROI. We just keep throwing, it's for the children, it's for the future. And this is a major problem, guys. So anyway, let's go to the last couple comments. What am I? So I'm at an hour here. I'm way behind on my comments, guys, and I apologize. I'm probably losing people at this point. This is an important issue to me. And again, I think you guys understand that. Okay, going towards the end here, let's move back a little bit. Let's see who's left. No, I've ran everyone off. Okay, Charles J. Leafhabo? I don't know what word you say there. Okay, that's a lot. Slider goes 69. The Boston Big Dig that took a quarter of a century to build. Okay, but was it done on budget and was it done on time, right? These are the things that matter. Again, if it takes a quarter century, if it's planned to take a quarter century and it's done on time and on budget, that makes sense. But if it's one of these projects that, oh, we'll get it done next year. Like, oh, well, this administration didn't want to fund it, so now we're going to fund it. You end up with this back and forth, and again, nothing ever gets done. If that's the case, then that's obviously a fail. So, okay, let's see. Second explosive bullet. Social Security has been running out of surplus for 60 years now. He's only been around for 80 of it, and it's scheduled to be empty less than 10. Yeah, Social Security is a massive disaster. And again, it's only meant to last till the boomers die off. That's the thing. Like you and I, us people in our 40s, we're never going to see that money. And if we do, once the boomers are gone and that voter base is gone, you'll see they'll raise the age for eligibility, or they'll increase the 7.5% that we have to pay into FICA, right? At that point, they'll fix it because that voter base is no longer useful, right? The people that are in government are no longer going to be 80, 90 years old. You probably get some younger blood there, and they'll actually try and fix it. But Social Security is a pay-as-you-go system. I talk about it all the time. When Social Security was started, there was 22 people paying into that system for every person that was receiving benefits. People didn't live as long, and healthcare wasn't as expensive. Today, you've got it's 2 or 3 people paying in. Because again, no one's having any fucking kids. These boomers are living for forever, and again, they'll pay whatever they need to live as long as they possibly can. They don't care what it costs because they got Medicare that'll backstop it. They'll pay whatever they need to pay, and the numbers don't work, and we're all paying for it. So it won't be there for us. It's very sad, but again, they told the boomers like, hey, we're going to pay for you guys. It's a lockbox. You're entitled to this. Like no one's entitled to shit. I don't believe that for a second. I don't expect Social Security to be there for me. So anyway, and I don't expect Medicare to be there for me. I haven't had medical insurance in 10 years, and I'm fine. So we do got. I'm not one of these people that doesn't think we need to take care of old people. We do, but there has to be a budget for it. And again, you can disagree with me on that thing. The numbers got to work. It's got to work for everyone. Okay, Mr. Juggles. Okay, I'd point out that while it took 5 years to build the Hoover Dam, 96 people died building it, and I got the. I get the government is often inefficient. I agree, but there's often a good reason. Again, 96 people died building the Hoover Dam. So what? Okay, and this is the big difference between people that do shit and people that think. Okay, I don't care that 96 people died building the fucking Hoover Dam. Okay, it's been there for 100 years. It's still getting utility out of it. Okay, again, how long was the Francis Scott Key Bridge around? What about all the people that are supposed to, what about all the money that's wasted on all these rail projects, okay? How many people died building the interstate highway system? Okay, I bet more than 96 people died building that highway system. Again, if the benefit to society is worth it, it's worth the lives. Again, we think that, oh God, every human loss, this is the reason we all were able to stay, we're all pushed to stay inside for COVID. Oh God, if one person dies, fuck the economy, fuck the ROI, right? Fuck efficiency. If one person dies, okay, this safety culture, this suicidal empathy that we have for civilization is going to be the death of us, okay? Again, I don't care about those 96 people. Again, what were there, 10,000 people working on that at the height of the Depression? You think those 10,000 people didn't want to see 96 people die? Of course they didn't. But do you think they would have traded those 96 people for the work? No, they wouldn't have. Do you think society would have been better off if we had not made that dam, all that power, all the tourism, all the inspiration that has come from that Hoover Dam? Do you think that outweighed those 96 people dying? Okay, I'm willing to say 100%. It was 960 people could have died on that project, and it would have been worth it. But again, nobody wants to be okay. No one wants to say that stuff, and it doesn't sound great, and it's easy to be a keyboard warrior and talk about, oh my God, every human life is precious, but you're not living in reality, dude. I'm sorry. I don't see it that way. And again, safety culture is going to be the death of this country. It's absolutely the death of this country. And again, it's so easy to talk safety culture and every human life is precious and oh my God, people died, while you send all the real work to the third world. Like it just blows my mind where they have none of that. Like this is that suicidal empathy. It just makes me disgusting. And I call it out everywhere I see it. Right? Every time someone comes into my shop and says, oh my God, it smells like lacquer. It's like, well, yeah, you sure fucking like that furniture in your home. Like, oh my God, is it safe to smell that all day long? Like, again, go fuck yourself, man. Like, what? You love the furniture when it's sitting in your home and all your friends are oohing on over, and you want to cry about the way that I do it? Like, like, I'm sorry, you can't get this finish with water-based paint. Like, this is the textbook definition of suicidal empathy. We shouldn't do that here. Okay, well, you certainly like your cheap t-shirts. Like, where do you think the dye to make t-shirts comes from? How do you think you make cotton? What do you think is some kind of clean fucking process? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you I don't need to comment. I've commented on enough on that stuff. Okay, Sir Aldwog. Sometimes in the 70s, when we had a surplus of Social Security, we decided to take our money and invest it in other countries, and we invested in the Caribbeans, called it a resort. Yeah, and again, I don't think that's right. Again, if we'd have taken that money and just invested in the S&P 500, probably worth a lot more money, right? If we had diversified that investment, but again, governments and politicians, they probably took that money and blew it on strippers and coke. If I'm being completely honest, all that money's wasted. It's all gone, and it should have been a lockbox, but they changed it. And again, boomers want to say, "Oh, we're entitled to that money. That money was promised us. I paid into that system." Like I'm sorry, go fuck yourself, man. Your country needs it more than you do. The next generation, the people that are coming behind you, guess what? They need it more than you do. Oh, but God, I might have to go live with my kids if I can't afford to live on my Social Security. Okay, great. They can't even afford to start fucking life. Okay, they're having 1.4 kids while your generation had 3. The people that had you were having 4, right? Tons of kids going on back then. Again, we don't want to do that today. And again, you guys just love to take all that Social Security money, all that money that should go to the young generation to promote this country and get it to grow again. You love to go bomb poor people. You love to bomb brown people. You're terrified of Hezbollah, being down the road when you go to, pick up your fucking drugs from CVS. Like, I'm over it, man. Like, I'm tired of it. Balance the budget. Everyone has to take less. And I'll say it till the day I fucking die. Somebody has got to take less. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it. The things that we make today, they don't fucking last anymore. We can't agree on anything in this country. And again, we should all agree on everybody taking less. I think we can all get behind that. Now, I'll say it. I'm going to say it in every freaking stream that I do, guys. Everybody needs to take less. Okay? Super chat coming in. Who's got super chat? Dude, I really appreciate this. Okay, this is Censor Everything. Great name, dude. Censor Everything, 63.66 cents and $5. Okay. You're 100% chosen. You're 100% choosing an unethical and unsensical way of thinking. This is why we want a government that can say no to an unsafe free market. Can say no to an unsafe free market. Okay, I'm gonna read your comment one more time. Censor everything. You're 100% choosing an unethical and unsensical way of thinking. This is why we want a government that can say no to an unsafe free market. Okay, so it sounds to me like what you're saying, dude, is that you believe, and again, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I'm going to scroll down to the end so you can put your comment in. Again, we got lots of comments coming in, guys. Thank you so much. You're basically saying, if I'm reading this correctly, that business owners want to operate without rules, right? Is this, and fill me in here. Are you basically saying that, we have to operate with ethics as business owners and we have to have a ethical free market, because if we don't, then business owners, and we're going to run roughshod over people, right? We're going to have unsafe work environments. We're, going to dirty the air, dirty the water, right? We're going to do all, is that where I'm kind of following you? We're going to not pay any taxes, this kind of thing. Is that kind of what's going on here? And again, somebody put a comment. I want to make sure that I kind of understand what's going on here. Okay, yes, completely. And thinking about ROI over the lives of humans is wrong. Okay, cool. And dude, I'll tell you this. I agree with exactly what you're saying, okay? Here's my contention, right? The problem is that when you say stuff like that, there are business owners. Again, I'm the guy that pays my people fair wages, right? I just came on here telling you guys that I'm paying my guys so much money, they want me to pay them less. They want me to hide what I'm paying them so they can have access to more benefits, right? Because they used to be on benefits and now they're having to pay for shit themselves. And they're realizing that healthcare for a family of 4 is $25,000 a year. It's very expensive. There's no subsidies if you make $75,000 a year, right? There's no help for the middle class. So these people, they literally do not want to be in the middle class. They actually want me to pay them less so they get access to those benefits. And you're the kind of person that would say, well, hey, just pay for it, because you think that money grows on trees, right? You believe in this thing called suicidal empathy, right? You're going to wear clothes, right, that are laden with chemicals that are literally manufactured with slave labor, right? Everything that's probably in your home sensor is probably made in China or some third world country where they don't have any of the labor practices that I should have. They don't have any of the safety standards that you talk about that you require me to have, right? All the things you want for your American businesses, you don't require for the third world. When the third worlders come in here, right, you have all the empathy for them, right? But they don't care about safety. They don't care about clean air, clean drinking water. They just want to make money because they've never seen so much opportunity in their life, right? This is what we call suicidal empathy and luxury beliefs, dude. And you got all of them, right? And again, what I'm trying to do as a business owner is I'm trying to show that there are really good business owners. There are people that take care of their employees, right? And I'm literally giving you guys an example of we take such good care of our employees that they're finding out that, oh my God, being middle class sucks, right? So when I talk about taking people who are not making a lot and bringing them up into the middle class so they can pay taxes, they're telling me they don't want to do that. They want more benefits, okay? You do not want to live in this kind of society, dude. We got to bring people up into the middle class. We got to make the middle class work for everyone. Otherwise, everyone's going to want to be poor or everyone's going to want to be super rich. I've said it many times. I could make a shit ton more money. I could probably make an extra $100,000 a year by paying my people less. I could probably make $500,000 extra dollars a year by making my shit in Mexico or China. Okay, but I don't do that. And this is why I advocate for kicking the third world out and cutting off the third world from manufacturing, because I believe more people can contribute to this country, can make middle class living, and bring people up out of poverty, right? This is what I believe in. And you don't have to believe this. And dude, I appreciate your super chat. I appreciate everyone's comments, everyone's super chats. But again, this is what you get on this channel. I will push back and disagree with you, even if you give me money. so again, I really appreciate it. And Censor, I'm going to make sure I hit your comments. Juggles, I'm going to get to your comment, dude. But I want to make sure that I give Censor everything his money is worth. So again, guys, you want your message read right away, do a gift, do a super chat, these kind of things. It's really helpful. Okay, Censor says, yes, completely. Okay, I answered your question. All right, next comment from Censor Everything. Hold on. Sorry, dude, it takes me a second to go through. Okay, Censor Everything, 6366. I would require if I was in charge of third world, but I'm not. Again, but you understand that you constrict business, right? You make it so small businesses can't compete with the large corporations, right? To give you guys more innovation, more competition to help bring prices down, right? You understand that when big businesses are allowed to be around forever and proliferate, what happens is they buy up all the brands. So even though you think that like, oh my God, I'm gonna buy this brand over that brand, what you're not understanding is that the businesses own all the brands. And this is what happens when you see one price lower than another price, right? Same product, different pricing, they're owned by the same company, right? It's a trick to get you to buy from the same company. It's the illusion of choice, dude. And this is the problem with how it works. And I'm one of these people that says, hey, you want to operate a business in America? Cut off the third world. Or one of the other things I've advocated for is you make sure that any business that wants to make shoes in China or Thailand or Vietnam has to have the same regulations as we have to have here in America. Sounds good to me. Good luck. Good luck. You know, and again, it ain't gonna happen. There's no politician in America that is gonna make that bet. Right? You guys can't even get E-Verify in this country. You can't even get, when we business owners hire people, to have the employees that we hire, to have their tax information, their social security information, their addresses, their names, all this shit ran through the Department of Homeland Security, the IRS, and CBP. It would fix a lot of our problems, but it ain't gonna happen, guys. Like, it's just, yeah, so savor everything. Again, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but you have to live in the world that exists today. You can't live in the world that you want, you know? But again, I'm here talking solutions, and I think you got a great solution, man. So I'm on board 100% with what you're saying. Make the regulations in the third world. They want to sell into America. They got to operate the same way we operate here. That would be fantastic. But your Nike tennis shoes would double in price overnight, right? All the cheap shit you buy on Amazon would double in price overnight. It would go up 4 times, if I'm being completely honest, right? And every American business that makes a product in America, we would get more swings at making sales, right? I told you guys, when Trump put in the tariffs, I got more swings and started making more money. It was almost like COVID times because of a 42% initial tariff on the country of Vietnam, where 82% of all the furniture is made, okay? So put that in your pipe and smoke it there, censor everything. Okay, this country is not an example of that on the whole. I'm sure you're not like every business owner. Most business owners just choose to make it in China. They choose to make it in China, dude, because it's not easy to make it in America. And everybody, any person, right, it's human nature, will take the path of least resistance. You know, and again, you might be the exception. Everyone thinks that they're the exception, but the truth is that everyone's pretty much average for the most part. Very few exceptions in this world. They do it because it's easy, right? Again, why would I've told you guys how I make hardware, right? When I buy hardware from India, I pay $28 for a what's called a lion head door knocker, right? You guys go on my website and see it. I pay 28 bucks for it. I sell it for $199. They make it, right? I have to pay a 25% tariff, or I was, and now I think it's like 10 or 11%. I pay a tariff on it. I don't have to do anything, and then I sell it, and I make a shit ton of money. This is what we consider business in America to be, right? This is bullshit. This is not how businesses should be, but this is how it works, right? So that's one revenue stream, right? Most of my money comes from making American furniture in here in America with Americans, using American hardwood, American plywoods, right? And it's very difficult, right? All of my transporters, they're all Americans, right? I sell to rich, affluent people, mostly on the East Coast and down in Texas, okay? Very difficult. It's much easier to make your shit in the third world. Have someone else do all the work, and then you just come in here, mark it up, sell it to someone in America and call it value or call it luxury, okay? Luxury is making anything in America. So anyway, great comment, dude. I appreciate the feedback very much. Okay, all right, Sensor, we're gonna give you one more comment and then we're getting into everyone else. Okay, let's see, Sensor says, all of the issues that you're describing could be helped by one, cutting out unethical, okay, they're unethical, okay. Third world slave labor, two, making the economy work for us, not for us, or work for the economy. Again, I advocate for everything you're saying, dude. Cut out slave labor. I'm all on board, man. I've been talking. I mean, anyone that's followed me for a long time, you guys know this is exactly what I advocate for. Make it in America. No slave labor. Again, when the delta that I talk about, when you make it in China, it costs $2.50 an hour, right? When you make it in America, it costs $32.50 an hour, and this is with no regulation and no benefits. Okay? Anyone with half a brain is going to make it in the third world. This is the problem. Okay? When you factor in regulations, there's no regulations in China. Every single regulation is in America. Okay? So you can hire an American to work at your American business, and guess what? They're going to know about all the regulations, and they're going to give a shit about them. Or you can hire someone from the third world to come in here, and they don't give a fuck about any of it. This is what you guys are up against. So anyway, great comment, dude. Okay, I want to go back to, let's go back here a little bit. I appreciate the super chat, dude, as always. And again, anyone that super chats, anyone that does gifts, I just love it. It's fantastic. The only way that's the only way to support this channel. Again, most people aren't going to be able to afford my furniture. I don't expect you guys to give me a penny, but I always appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Let me see where I'm at in the comments. Tiber says, educated populations are much more healthy and have much less crime. I agree 100%. 100%. Okay. And it's easy to be healthy and safe when, well, anyway, no, yeah, I agree with you. Okay, Mr. Juggles, okay. You obviously shouldn't educate needlessly, i.e. college, if you don't need it, but the idea that we should be investing in the idea we shouldn't be investing in educating our kids is a high standard. Just ignore the evidence. Yeah, no. And again, Mr. Juggles, again, sometimes, again, I will speak in generalities, right? I'll use absolute verbiage when I probably shouldn't, right? I should use more like, like most or many, right? I should be a better speaker. I didn't go to fucking college, dude. I didn't make it out of high school. Like, this is literally how I've learned to talk, is talking. I put out 1,000 videos, right? This didn't happen overnight, right? So again, I appreciate the feedback and I will learn to work on those things. Again, education is wildly important for any country, okay? The problem is when you try and convince people that they will try and convince dumb people that they're going to get smart by going to college, because you don't want them to take a blue-collar job. You actually want to drive them into the service sector because that is what is good for your economy. When you give people this illusion while you shovel all the real jobs to the third world and bring the third world in here to do all the work that these people could be doing, you're selling them a pipe dream, and you're literally selling them a lie. And we've been doing this for 20 years now. And again, I really got onto this thing during COVID. When I saw what was happening during COVID, when I saw the separation between the wages, right, the trash guys, the people that stock grocery stores, the people come and fix your air conditioner, right, the people that come and fix the railing, your deck, all these kind of things. When I saw these guys were all deemed essential, and all the people that were on salary, they all got to stay home. All the teachers, they all got to stay home. When I saw that our society was basically being pushed away from leading when it's difficult to staying back and being little bitches and waiting for the government to take care of everything, when I saw that happening, this is when I started to develop this idea of what this suicidal empathy and this is essentially extreme narcissism that we have in this country, to basically thinking that, the blue collar guys, well, they got to take care of the people. This is this class thing, right? And when I saw the educated people basically telling the guys that needed to go to fucking work that they weren't essential, when I saw what was happening there, I knew it was all fucked. I knew it was all fucked. When they were saying that, it's going to be good to shut the economy down and tell people to stay home, like the economy is going to be fine, everyone was loving it. I saw it coming a mile away. And a lot of people saw it coming a mile away. Printing that much money, watching what was happening in the housing sector when we were in a pandemic. It was so obvious to me what was going on. And again, this is what happens when you let educated people take over the world. This is what happens when you convince everyone that the experts are always right. And you crush dissent, right? You censor speech. You, you revoke the licenses of doctors that disagree with the government approved guidelines. Okay, this is a major problem. When you see what happened at the World Economic Forum, when you see what happened at the National Institute of Health, when you see what happened during all these times, guys, it was just so obvious to me what was happening. And again, you guys don't have to agree with me. I value education just as much as I value anything else. But the problem is that when you put so much emphasis on being educated, it leads to totalitarianism, and it leads to, again, shut up, you uneducated serf. The adults are talking. The kings are talking. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it. So, but Mr. Douglas, again, I love what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but maybe I should speak a little bit more eloquently. Okay, okay, censoring everything. I read your stuff. Let's see, Lazol 18878. We already pay immigrants half wages or use less force than to do it. We already pay immigrants half wages or less. Just force them to do it. Yeah, and I don't disagree with you, man. Like I said, this is why I'm saying get them out of here. And again, just put in E-Verify and cancel the remittances. They'll all leave on their own. You don't have to use, you don't have to use force. They'll just leave because there's no opportunity. The ability, everyone would have to pay under the table cash, which again, in this economy, very difficult to do. So, okay, Momo97, what is a good education, though, these days? Need education, not indoctrination. Yeah, no, that's how I see it. Momo, I agree, 100%. Again, I've just seen so many people that get super educated. I mean, I know people with fucking master's degrees and, PhD candidates that don't want to have kids because they think climate change is real. They think that there's no point in having kids because the world's going to, the fucking polar ice caps are going to freeze and we're all going to be underwater. It's going to be like fucking the movie Waterworld. This is what's happened. I know these people. Okay, trust me, it's a problem. Okay, William Barry 8015. We're doomed. Yeah, we're not doomed. We just gotta change how we look at work. We gotta change how we look at children. We gotta change how we look at young people. Okay, and we gotta change what I don't want to say what is acceptable language, but we gotta change. We gotta make sure free speech is alive and well in this country. We gotta make sure that it's okay to use taboo words and taboo language. It's very important that stuff stays a thing. You need to be able to challenge authority, right? You need to be able to call your president a fucking piece of shit. You need to be able to call your council members, right? The people like we have here in St. Louis, Sam Page, a doctor, right? We got to be able to call that guy a fucking retard. We have to be able to say these kind of things without the threat of having our businesses destroyed, right? Or having our names tarnished, or having, people show up at our door and say, well, what did you mean by that? And again, we have to, as a country, we have to be able to ask questions of our politicians and of the people that run our country, right? Why can't the DOD pass a budget? Why can't we say how much gold is in Fort Knox, right? Why can't we audit the Fed? They got $6.5 trillion on their books. What are those assets? We have to be able to ask these questions, and we have to have politicians that are willing to answer them. But again, focus on the war. Okay, James, okay, if we contribute to education in the U.S. the way countries on our level do, we'd be rocking. If we contribute to education in the U.S. the way most countries on our level do, we'd be rocking. And I've read this. I actually did, that's a good point, James. You reminded me of something. I did a Google search on what are some of the education systems in the rest of the world that seem to be working, and you're 100% right. Let's go over that real quick. I wanted to talk about the Department of Education, just what a fucking disaster it's been. But again, it's taboo to talk how education has failed a lot of people in this country. You can't say that, okay? So what are the education models that are successful in the rest of the world? So James, you got a fascinating question. So listen to this. So in Singapore, which is obviously the number one has the number one educated group in the world, according to Grok, it says it's frequently number one in what's called the PISA in math, which is, I guess they got a 575, which is good. They're number one in science, they're number one in math, they're number one in reading, right? These are the things, and this is, again, why people need to go to college, right? It's for STEM. It's not for fucking psychology and basket weaving. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Gender studies, become a fucking an HR manager. I got a degree in HR management. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, so Singapore's always number one. They're apparently doing great. So features rigorous Centralized curriculum emphasizing mastery, problem solving, and STEM depth. You guys are going to see a trend in all these countries. And guess what? It's not, DEI cultural appropriation shit. All right, it's all STEM. Every fucking bit of it is STEM, guys. Okay. Teacher training is selective and ongoing. Early streaming with support, cultural emphasis on effort and discipline. Right. And again, discipline's not a thing in our schools. Again, you see the kids literally fighting the teachers. You don't see the teachers beating the fucking shit out of the kids anymore. It's all the kids beating the shit out of teachers, which is really weird. All right, East Asia. So places like South Africa, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China, okay, dominate math and science rankings. Okay, it doesn't say it dominates social studies and English, right? Not a lot of communications degrees, okay? This is what they all dominate, right? Because their education system is actually, now, here's the other side of that, right? Which is, again, if we go back to the Great Depression, we go back to what created the baby boomers, the largest population we had here in America. All these countries that are super intelligent, guess what they all have in common? They don't have kids. The smarter they get, the less kids they have, right? You end up with what's called a dink society. Okay, and I said this earlier in the cast. It's dual income, no kids. So we don't want a dink society. So we got to, if we want to do what the educated countries do, we can do some of that, but it leads to South Korea literally has the lowest population growth of any country on Earth. Japan, dying. China, not having any more kids. Their population's aging. Again, but you guys crush it in education. Estonia's even on here. They crush it in education. Finland, Canada, Ireland, Netherlands, and Switzerland are also top tier, okay? You know who's not on here? America. What country do you think spends the most money on education? Any idea? Any guesses? We got any educated people that might know that one? It's America. We spend the most on everything and get the least ROI. But again, no emphasis on ROI in this country because, again, a government's not supposed to be around like a business. But anyway, so I thought you guys would find that interesting. So, James, I really appreciate your question, man. You nailed it. Okay, Barbara Leonard says, thank you. We got Sir Almighty God. Okay. See, when we help a corporation become what they are, when do we stop giving corporations corporate welfare? There has to be a point that we stop doing this things and work to help the average community. Okay, so Sir Aldog, what you're saying is what I advocate all the time. Everyone has to take less, and this is you're doing the thing that everyone else does, right? It's always somebody else's problem. Well, that's the corporations. That's the reason I don't have what I want, right? We'd have more money for this if we didn't give it to the corporations. And the corporations say, you know what? These poor people, like, we got to stop paying for these motherfuckers. They're worthless, and it's always somebody else's fault. Okay, here's the solution, dude. You want to help the country? Cut off the corporate welfare, right? Get rid of the corporate carve-outs. But guess what? The poor people, we got to give them less money. The old people, we got to give them less money. Everyone's got to take less. But nobody is willing to take less themselves. It's always somebody else's fault. And again, it seems to be the theme of my podcast now, or one of these streams, whatever we're calling these things. This seems to be the theme. And this seems to be what I see with everyone that's in these streams. Nobody ever wants to take less, which is why we continue doing what we're doing. We continue giving corporations tax cuts and carve-outs. We give corporations access to all the politicians that create the rules and regulations that make it impossible for you guys to start small businesses and compete with these corporations, right? The poor people, we keep them generationally poor. No one wants to fix their situation, so we just keep giving them money because it's easier. Like, give the corporations tax cuts. The tax cuts will give the poor people benefits, right? Again, win-win. Everyone gets what they want. Meanwhile, the debt goes up. Everything balloons. The Fed prints money. Your guys' dollars are worth less. You can't purchase what you used to be able to purchase. You lose entire generations to inflation, and nobody wins. Old people, they're sure shit not going to take less. They're like, we're fucking old. What are we supposed to do? Like, I get it. Go move in with your fucking kids. Get rid of your home. Pool your money together. Pay for the health care. Again, maybe the kids don't need health care. Maybe the old people need health care. I don't know what we got to do, but everyone's got to take less. And again, I've said it before. you guys can take all the CNC that I just bought with bonus depreciation that I got in the big, beautiful bill. You guys can have that, whatever, $3,000 to $7,000 that I'm going to get for that. I'm happy to give it up. What are you guys willing to give up? No one has an answer. It's wildly frustrating. Okay, wait, why if they're actually speaking intelligently? This is boob tube. Wait, why are you actually speaking intelligently? This is boob tube. It's very rare apparently. Okay, mom just said no. Indoctrinated or not, the guy with the IT degrees are making money. If I knew So where the country was heading 20 years ago, I'd have become blue collar. Well, again, this is a funny thing about America. So my wife's Indian, right? What's the wealthiest demographic in America? Anyone got it? Let's go to the end. What's the wealthiest demographic in America, guys? And again, sorry guys, I'm way behind on comments. I'm going to speed up. Anyone got it? Anyone know what the wealthiest demographic in America is? Who's making all the money here? Indian people. All of them. My wife's family, they're all doing great. Everyone's doing great. They love America. So anyway, okay, let's go to the last couple comments here. All right, Titan Bruce says, children are costly. I have 4 kids and 12 grandkids. The expense was definitely been worth it. Yeah, but again, Titan, you grew up in an economy, you grew up in a situation, I grew up in a situation where, again, you could have kids, and kids didn't cost a fortune. You weren't being taxed to death at the time. Healthcare wasn't what it is today. The cost of everything is just ballooned. COVID fucked up everything. Like, this is the thing. And again, until we're willing to take less as a country, we just have to keep servicing the debt. We got to keep giving everyone what they need to survive while fighting the poor brown people in the Middle East, right? While funding the country in the Middle East, and again, none of us are ever going to go to, that we're never going to give a fuck about. We got to give tons of resources to that thing. Can't seem to do much here in America. We can't reform our education system. We can't dare tell people, you know what, you're too fucking dumb to go to college. You're going to go get a job. You know, oh, you didn't do very good in high school. Guess what? You're not going to college unless you want to pay for it. Oh, wait, your family has no fucking money. Guess what? Go get a job. We don't want to say that because the children of the future, right? People used to have kids, you know, because kids were labor, right? As a business owner, again, if I had a business when I started out having a business when I was young, I would probably have a bunch of kids to help out my business, right? Teach these guys how to do some shit. That way I don't got to hire other people. You know, I have a lot more influence on the people that work for me if they're my fucking kids, but we don't live in that kind of society anymore. You know, everyone's just looking, oh, let me find the best college graduate for this fucking service job that I get. Let me find the best foreign country to make my shit so I can then sell it to you guys at an extreme markup. Like, the incentives are all wrong in this country, guys. So, okay, we're at a minute 30. Holy shit, guys, I made it. I gave you guys 2 hours today. I really appreciate you guys. All the comments, all the feedback, all the super chats. I appreciate it for everyone. And again, this is what we do every day. I try to give you guys 2 hours a day. Talk to you guys about business. Talk to you guys about how I see the world as a guy that never graduated high school, never went to college, got really good at making furniture, started a small business in large part because I met a woman who was really good at doing the things that I sucked at, which is dealing with customers, designing furniture, selling furniture. She's a wizard at it, right? She knew the shipping side, how to kind of do that stuff. Again, not saying it's easy. I don't have all the answers, but this is my experience, and I think this is why people like this stuff, because I'm very open and honest about it. I have very strong opinions about where this country is and where I think it needs to be, and all I have, guys, are solutions. I don't just bitch. I don't cry. We've got 2 moderators in here, Sun Tzu and Titan Brew, and guess what? They don't allow any fucking bullshit comments. There's none of your little, this is bad. Yeah, you're bad. I don't like you. You suck. We don't. It's all solutions. It's all back and forth with everyone about issues and about problem solving. That's what we talk about. You know, so appreciate being here today. You guys have a great day, and we'll do this again tomorrow. If there's topics you guys want, put it in the stream. Let me know. Go visit theresplendentcrow.com if you guys want to see how I make my money. I just make furniture. That's all I do, and it's a great business. You know, so you guys have a fantastic day. Let's do one more comment. Let's see who we got in here. We got you guys want? We got James in here. It's about providing the best life. It's about providing the best life. I'm not going to raise a kid in an apartment. I just have higher standards. Tired of poor people draining the system and having 9 kids. At least I'm not taking from them. Yeah, James, and dude, you're exactly what I'm talking about. James, I really hope you're still in here, because I'm going to give you just in a minute. This is what I advocate for this country. You're exactly, and I didn't used to think this way. You know, I didn't used to think this way. I used to be one of these guys. I'm like, fuck everyone. I'm going to go get mine. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to grind my enemy's bones into dust. I'm going to be a better furniture maker than everyone. Now I don't think that way. As I get older in life, I'm realizing that if we don't help the people that haven't learned how to make it in society, if we don't help young people to get excited the way I was excited, to get really good at something, to see a reward from making money, right? I hear a lot of people today talking about consumerism. Oh, it's so terrible to be a consumer. You know what? I'll tell you guys something. Driving a Toyota is awesome. You know what's fucking better than driving a Toyota? A Lotus. You know what's better than driving a Lotus? A McLaren. Okay, and again, we used to aspire for these things. You know what's awesome about living in an apartment? It's cheap. It's great when it's just you and a bunch of guys drinking beer, but guess what? When you want to have a woman, they like nice shit, so you better make some fucking money. You know what feels great? Having a woman tell you that's awesome you make the money, right? Having a woman tell you you're successful, right? You know what's also great? Having kids. You know what's better than an apartment? Having a ranch home. You know what's better than having a ranch home? Having a McMansion in the fucking hills. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. But if we don't show young people that there is a reward for being really good at something, then they're not going to do it. If we don't show young people that, hey, you know what? If you work hard, you actually get somewhere. If all they know is struggle, right? Keeping their fucking paddling to keep their head above water. If we give all the money to the boomers, we give all the money to the Middle East countries, we give all the money to places like Israel. If this is what we're going to do in this country, guess what? There are going to be no fucking young people. They're going to give up on this country. They're not going to believe in what we believe in, right? People like Titan, right? Started a business, didn't have a ton of education, made a bunch of money. He's chilling in Florida, loving life. Okay? If we don't show people that that is possible, we don't show people you don't have to go to high school. You can just work your ass off, buy homes, buy cars, have kids, go on vacation, save for retirement. You can do all this shit. They're not going to believe it. It's going to be something that they look at in the fucking history books like, oh my God, they had it so good. I wish I could have that. If we don't work to make this civilization what I had growing up in the 2000s, what I had in the 90s, we're in deep shit, guys, because what Elon Musk wants is Elon Musk literally wants UBI for everyone. I'm here to tell you guys, UBI is death. This idea that you can go through life being an artist and being a thinker and like, oh my God, I'm going to dabble in this and I'm going to dabble in that, okay? Life sucks without struggle, but life sucks even more without reward, so I'll leave with that. Guys, I really appreciate you spending the time to do this kind of stuff. And James, dude, I'm with you, man. I'm pulling for people like you. This is literally, you guys are literally the people. I want to get you out of apartments. I want you to get you into homes. I want you to have kids. I want you to buy cars. I want you to go on vacation. I want you guys to know what it's like to do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I want you guys to know what it's like to drive 200 miles an hour. I want you to know what it's like to go to soccer games. I want you to know what it's like to, have a wife, right? Have a husband, have whatever it is you want, be gay if you want. I don't give a shit. Like, I want you to experience all that kind of stuff, but we got to start supporting the younger people. We got to start supporting what we have going on in this country and unfuck what we have going on today, which is essentially sending all the money and all of our emphasis on places that none of us are ever going to go. So, all right, guys, you guys have a good day. Salina Girl, so my family biz does fixtures and signs and on my 5th generation. I love it, Salina Girl. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Passing your businesses down to kids, right? I think this is an amazing thing. We need more of that in this country, but you can't do it if the idea of starting a business is you just make everything in the third world. That's not a business owner and if you incentivize that, I don't agree with it. If that's your business model, I don't agree with that. But whatever. It is what it is. Titan versus thank you. Titan versus saying good to people. Guys, thank you so much. I need to get out of here. I've given you guys plenty of time today. Your comments have been great. It's been a good discussion. And again, thanks for everything. We'll do it again tomorrow, and we'll see you guys later.